Hello, everybody. I am Fedora Gamer, and welcome to the randomly generated podcast. This week we are down a dragon again. Ginger Dragon is absent once more. We presume him dead at this point, or maybe he's camping with his family. Not entirely sure. Probably dead. Probably dead. He never misses podcasts. He's missed two in a row, so clearly he's dead. But the show must go on, so we are just down one person again this week. No big deal. We can handle it. We don't need him. I do need you, Ginger Dragon. Please come back. But this week I am joined by a man that I've been trying to get on the podcast pretty much since the podcast started. And it's hard because he lives in some mystical foreign land and disappeared off the internet for a while and now is back. And so it is, of course, SuddenlyNinja.
I'm a Christmas ninja.
Christmas Ninja. Okay. Now I want someone to have that as a YouTube channel.
It's a mythical thing. You wouldn't understand.
Hey, Santa Claus is clearly a ninja, though. I mean, seriously, he sneaks into everyone's house and leaves presents all in one night.
Kidding me? You kidding? Why do you think he dresses in red?
He's a red
so
ninja.
So you can't see him in all the blood.
Ah, exactly. And I would like to say hello real quick to chat. Hi, Zippy Dragon. Hi, Stone. Hi, Jade. Jade, if you guys didn't watch last week's podcast, you really, really should. It's not safe for work, but it's wonderful. And some guy, and who else do we have in here right now? I think that's about it at the moment that are talking, at least. So, hello, chat. Welcome. But anyway, anyone that doesn't know who SuddenlyNinja is, you should. He's been doing YouTube about twice as long as me and does not have near as many subs as he should, because his videos are goddamn wonderful.
Oh, please. I mean, thank you. Please go on.
Last week's Pervcast. That's exactly, Stone. Exactly. But we have Jade in here in the chat to keep it classy for us. It's on my channel, Zippy Dragon. It went up the day before yesterday because I had some issues with the VOD, so it took me a while to get it up. Well, don't take that out of context. Here comes a joke from Jade, I'm sure. But anyway, everybody should go subscribe to him. Is your chat working, Ninja?
No, but I can kind of see the chat from the stream. So there's a little delay, but I can kind of.
See, I'm not even seeing that. My stream is froze up, so at least you can tell me if it dies or not. Well, I'm going to.
Yeah, with about a 5-minute delay then, but.
No, it's actually about 5 seconds or less most of the time on Hitbox, which is why I left Twitch because of their ridiculous delay. But then it might not. It might be a little more delay for you, being that you're, in a foreign country. So I don't know if they have servers.
I'm in another country. It's not like I live on the moon. That will be a delay.
Yeah, that does make a lot of difference when it comes to live streaming stuff, though.
Yeah, I gave up on Twitch on the moon. The upstream was basically nothing. And, whenever I was on the dark side, I just couldn't stream at all. There was no connection there, so.
Your channel is youtube.com/SuddenlyNinja, right?
It is. Yes, sir.
Everybody, follow that link. Go subscribe to this man. He deserves a hell of a lot more subscribers. Go sub to him now. He doesn't put out near as many videos as I do, but each one of the videos he does is a ton more work put into him. You can just tell, his editing is wonderful. Seriously, this guy should have more subscribers than me. We'll talk a little bit about where Ninja, the mythical land of SuddenlyNinja is here in a little bit, but let's go ahead and introduce our other guest, which is Steve of Telenon Towers.
That's right.
For some reason, I always look at it and think it's Teflon Towers or something. I don't even know why. Don't ask me. It doesn't make any sense.
That is the next mobile game hit. I'm telling you, Teflon Towers. That's going places.
He is the developer of AE Heart, which we will be playing a little bit later. Well, I'll be playing a little bit later in the podcast. Ninja's having technical difficulties with it, but maybe he'll get it running as well. It is a very interesting dungeon crawler type game. It's not really a roguelike, but it has some roguelike enemies. It's hard to explain.
It's a roguelike.
Like. Second cousin twice removed of a roguelike. Hey, and that is our guest. Of course, again, we are short of Dragon. We'll have him. I'm going to say, I said this last week, but I'll say this again this week. He will be back next week. I said that last week, though, so I lied last week. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into our first segment while I throw stuff around on my desk. What have we been playing this week? Let's start with Ninja. What have you been playing this week?
I've actually been playing a surprisingly amount of Heroes and Generals, which is not something I do often, seeing as that is basically a browser-driven game. But it has this. For those of you guys who don't know, it's this World War II kind of multiplayer shooter, kind of Battlefield-like, but more metagame behind it. So there's an actual war going on, and all these different like theaters you play on, they actually all tie into the bigger war that's going on in the background. So there's
What
you
game
actually
is
have
that?
the feeling that it's called Heroes and Generals. And I believe the Yogscast did a great video on it, a great live action series, and that's actually what got me into it. It's not
That's
really
interesting.
indie, but
Like a game that has, like a FPS that has more to it than just shoot everything in the face that moves.
yeah, you're still shooting people in the face, but it's you're doing it for a good cause, you know? No, that's nonsense. It's I just like shooting people in the face once in a while. I play just because I do the channel, and it's mostly based on discovering cool and exciting indie games. I don't get to play. I don't actually get to play a lot of games for myself. I mostly play when I'm recording, and
I
when
know
I'm
that
in-
feeling.
yeah, it's a YouTuber gaming kind of feeling. Whenever you start making videos, you get less and less time to play games yourself. So when I do find a game that I like, I go totally overboard. I had a day off just the other week, and I basically got up, made some eggs for breakfast, launched the game, and it was 2 in the afternoon. I was still playing, in my jammies. And
Wow, suddenly girlfriend is definitely a very understanding person.
oh yeah, she sits beside me and cheers me on. So, which is part of the reason I'm marrying her next year. So.
Oh, I didn't realize you guys were engaged. So it's suddenly fiance.
Yeah, we talked about that, but it's not. It's either going to be suddenly girlfriend and suddenly wife, I guess.
Yeah.
We haven't really spoken about that yet. So
Waffle cannon? Okay. Oh, I get what you're saying. Some guy like, wait, waffle cannon? What? I guess suddenly fiance isn't as cute as suddenly girlfriend. It's just it's just cuter sounding that way, I guess. So.
yeah, well, she actually came up with it.
And then suddenly wife, which sounds like a very drunk night at Vegas.
Well, like I said, we were talking before, and her parents they're kind of pushing for a baby. So every time we go over there, they're like, "Oh yeah, no, are you guys okay? Yeah, and and suddenly baby," like they're trying to spring. I'm sure I can think of a lot of horrible stories about unexpected pregnancies, but yeah, suddenly baby.
Yeah, his in-laws watch his YouTube channel and know the nicknames Suddenly
Yes.
Girlfriend and Suddenly Ninja, which is kind of an amazing situation.
There is nothing. There's two sides of the medal there. There's either nothing better than having your in-laws watch your channel closely, and there's nothing worse, because my father-in-law is a huge game nerd and a game geek, so he kind of always comments on the games that I plays, and he gives me tips and hints about what I do better. And then my mother-in-law isn't into video games at all, but she still watches them with my father-in-law. But then she kind of takes me apart and says, that game you did last with the things and the Magogos? And I say, yeah, oh yeah, that game. You shouldn't play that. It's bad. It's just bad. I'm like, what? No, that was great.
That game was wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. And there was, there's two sides to the argument there.
You should just find the goriest, most twisted game ever to do a video of to mentally scar your future mother-in-law.
Yes, as long as it's indie,
Exactly.
As long as its intentions are indie, then
There's plenty of batshit crazy indie games you can just really mess with her head with, I'm sure. So some
I
of those,
can think of a couple.
yeah.
I get about I'm at this point where my channel hasn't really taken off, but I can comfortably pick out 4 games a month to cover if I do a video once a week. But then there's stuff that I could offer that I'm like, I was offered a game last week from some shady company, and it was basically a game that granted you points by shooting what looked like tiny people. I'm avoiding the term dwarf here.
Dwarf is the more politically correct term for that, actually. So,
Okay, I will. It looked like they were dwarves, but they were also of a certain complexion that it was a game about shooting,
small, not white people.
yes, smaller people who like African American music. Is that
Wow.
a stereotype?
I don't
Only
know.
if you're small.
So, like, talking like pygmies kind of thing. I don't know. Is
Exactly.
that insulting?
Pygmies. You read my mind. They were pygmies. Yes.
That does sound like it's probably offensive to some people.
It's probably offensive to a lot of people. It
But
was
I mean-
offensive to me, so I chose not to cover it.
But there's plenty of games where you shoot plenty of white men.
Yeah,
That's
nobody
not
ever
offensive
complained
to
about them.
us. Yeah, exactly. Just my pointing that out. Like every first-person shooter in existence, and so. Well, I mean, a lot of them are not white men, but still, there's plenty of games where you shoot plenty of white men, normal-sized white men. So should we be offended by that?
It's like, this is the age-old discussion, and this is the part of the podcast where I kind of reveal how ancient I actually am. I remember when Wolfenstein came out, and I'm not talking about you fancy kids with your fancy graphics. I'm talking when Wolfenstein was about 4 pixels wide and fitted on about 12 floppy disks.
Wasn't that like a top-down perspective game? I think.
The
original
very
Wolfenstein?
original was,
Yeah.
yes, but I'm actually talking about the Wolfenstein that everyone, well, I say everyone knows, but the one that came after that, Wolfenstein 3D.
The grandfather
Which one?
of all FPS.
Yes, exactly that one. Bowed down to the Wolfenstein.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a section in which there were a lot of dogs there. So the Germans had attack dogs, and you could actually, those were real enemies in the game. You actually had to shoot them. And I was reading one of the earlier game magazines where I live, and there was just this storm of critique about how this game allowed you to shoot pixelated animals. And, it just passed all kinds of ridiculousness. I mean, Wolfenstein 3D was basically you shooting a lot of Nazis
Yeah.
in the face with pixely blood coming out, and then at the end, you met some sort of cyborg Hitler, and you had a fight with him, and people were raging about you shooting a couple of dogs. I mean,
They're
don't get
Nazi
me wrong,
dogs.
I don't shoot dogs in my weekends. It's not one of my hobbies, but priorities, people. Come on.
They're Nazi dogs. It's all right.
They're not, yeah, well, Nazi dogs. Have you? Yeah. If you have 4 feet to walk on, it's pretty difficult to keep one in the air all the time.
Good points. That's a good point. And yes, Zippy Dragon, we've established that I have an accent fetish. He went and watched a little bit of last week's VOD because he hadn't seen it. And primarily British, but Australian accent is goddamn sexy as well, especially coming out of Jade's mouth. I'm just going to say that.
How about German? You go for German?
I mostly can't understand German accent, when they're speaking
No, but
English.
English in a German accent. Does that do it for you?
Not really. Irish is really good too, though.
I can do that. Fedora Gamer. I can do the English German accent.
Not doing it at all. That just sounds like horrible English to me, is what that sounds like. This is we'll talk a little bit more about that. Let's go on to we got way off topic, which we do a lot on this podcast. It's named the way it is for a reason. So let's go ahead and move to Steve. What have you been playing this week?
I'm playing a lot of Risk of Rain. I'm assuming you've heard of it.
Yes, great game.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I bought it back in one of those Steam sales because it looked fun, but I didn't get around to it until now, and I'm just having a blast with it.
I covered it back when it was on Kickstarter. Actually, that was and it's so good now. It was so good on Kickstarter, and now it's fully released, and they've added another content patch to it. It's wonderful.
There's just so much to do in it, and I love all the different items you get. You wind up with like 50 different items by the end of the game, and you're blowing up enemies and healing every time you hit and all that. It's fantastic.
I broke the game once or twice by getting too many items. I had like 15 rocket drones with me, and like several things that caused me to just fire rockets. I had like 6 stacks of those that you fire rockets when you attack, so it was happening almost 100% of the time. And then I had the item to shoot rockets, and so I just like it was like Rocket Armageddon, and I used the item while all of them were shooting and a few were shooting at me from attacking, and just like rocket spam just locked the game up. It was wonderful. It was quite an achievement.
It's fantastic.
I love that game. I haven't played it in quite a while. I really need to get back to playing it some more and unlocking the rest of the stuff that I haven't unlocked yet.
Yeah, I just found one of the artifacts finally. I know I could see another one through the wall in the first level, but I can never figure out how to get there.
I haven't hunted down any artifacts yet. I've watched some streams of it, of people doing it, but I haven't got around to playing it since that was added in. It seems like most of the artifacts, when you activate them, are kind of a horrible thing, which I know they put them in for intentional added challenge for the pro people out there, but some of them are kind of terrible. It's like, how can you play the game with that on? I don't remember any exact what they do. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I just remember thinking some of those are goddamn horrible.
The one I unlocked was it makes enemies explode when you kill them, which I'm sure harms you and not the other enemies. I haven't tried it yet, but the game's already hard enough. I don't need to turn it on yet.
Don't play that with a melee character. That would be horrible.
That would be bad.
Maybe the Huntress for that one or something, you know?
I don't have any melee ones unlocked yet. All the ones I have are ranged. There's a guy with the shield who's like shorter range, but
he is considered a melee character, even though it's actually just a short-range shotgun he primarily uses. But he does fall into the melee character category for that game for the most part.
Yeah, I'd still be worried about explosions with that guy.
Yeah, unless you're doing the thing that blocks all damage from the front of you, which then if they explode in front of you, you're fine. But you know,
yeah, that's true.
You can't be in that mode all the time since you can't move in that mode, and stuff likes to sneak up behind you when you're sitting in that mode for very long. So you know. And anything else you've been playing?
Oh, I'm actually going back and playing some old PC games that I should have played when I was a kid. I actually got Ultima 7 the other day and started playing that just for the hell of it.
Okay, Stone, quit being a dick. For anyone that doesn't know, Stone is actually my twin brother. So, I will mute your ass again. I don't know why I gave you mod. Why do you have mod? That seems like a terrible idea on my part. Why did I do that? Lady Jade's mod because she's been on the podcast a couple times, and I always mod people on the podcast so that they can post links. I don't know why I mod Stone. I guess I'll leave him. He might be a dick, but if anyone comes in doing stupid stuff, he will be on top of getting rid of them, so... Alright, so what have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Ascendant, which I believe I probably talked about this on last week's podcast as well. If anyone doesn't know what Ascendant is, you should get it. It's on Steam. It's kind of like Risk of Rain. It's it's kind of action platformer roguelike, but it has more. The combat's more brawler like, kind of light brawler, not like extremely in-depth brawler games, but it is kind of more in-depth combat than you normally see in anything with roguelike elements. Because I'll be honest, I love games with roguelike elements like Rogue Legacy, Binding of Isaac, and Our Darker Purpose, and all those games. But their combat system is actually the weakest part of the game. It's very simplistic. Binding of Isaac gets a little bit of complexity from the item interaction, but it's still just shoot in one of four directions and one activatable item. Where Ascendant has a very in-depth combat system, again, not like a full-on brawler that is entirely just a brawler game, because it's also action platformer, and it's very aerial in the combat as well. It's, combos, combo attacks, and then you can stagger enemies and launch them, which a large part of the game is launching enemies into other enemies. Several of the bosses are based entirely around that, where you have to launch enemies into the boss. And then there's parries, which will pretty much instantly kill the enemy that's attacking you, but it's definitely a timing thing, but mostly useful for ranged enemies where when they shoot you, you can parry the shot back at them. And there's bosses based around parrying as well. There's a boss that you mostly kill via parries, and if you don't parry, you just keep taking damage like an idiot. So you gotta master both the launching and the parries to actually beat the bosses in that game. And very aerial, like you jump in when you're attacking an enemy in air, you kind of float in air as your combo goes on. And there's a dash, so you can dash through projectiles without taking damage. which I'm very bad at actually effectively using, which is probably why I haven't been able to get past the 4th floor of that game so far. But it is wonderful. It has a beautiful art style. It's kind of Central American, maybe like Aztec-y looking in a way, but very colorful, and it's freaking gorgeous. The game is wonderful. Probably going to be one of my top games of the year. And I'm embarrassed that I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it until Total Biscuit put a video out of it, which he praised it quite a bit, which, you know, the action platformer roguelikes, he usually doesn't like that much, but he pretty well liked this game. And I didn't know about it, and it had been kickstarted quite a while ago at a modest $10,000 Kickstarter. It had gone through Greenlight successfully, and then it's now out on Steam, and I did not know about its existence until it hit Steam and Total Biscuit did a video of it. It's like, how did I not know about this game? I cover Kickstarter games on my channel. How did I not know about this game, you know? It's crazy, and it's so good. It is so good. It's kind of wonderful. And, see, what else have I been playing? God, I think that's probably about it the last week. I've been kind of addicted to it, even though I still can't get past 4th floor. But there's a lot of unlocking to do to unlock, new blessings and new items and new weapons that can then drop in your game and unlock new characters, which even if you're not getting extremely far in the game, you're still generally getting towards unlocking more things. So, and I just keep telling myself once I unlock everything, I'll actually be able to get strong enough stuff to be able to complete the game eventually.
I'll have to check this out. This looks pretty cool.
Oh, it's gorgeous, and it's just, the combat is so much fun. Not a perfect game though. There's a few things, like I definitely wish there was more boss variety. You usually get one of 2 different bosses on floor 1 repeatedly, and then floor 2 usually has there's basically 3 bosses that can show up on a floor 1 or 2. So you always get a combination of those 3 on the first 2 floors, which I can reliably get past the first 2 floors for the most part. Once you get into the second area, because it's broke up in seasons. The first floor is early spring, second floor is late spring, which both look the same. Then when you get to the third floor, it's early summer, which then has a different color palette and a different aesthetic to it, and a different environment, it was really cool the first time you get to it. It's like, oh, this is beautiful too. And then there's a different set of bosses that can show up on the summer floors, except for sometimes you can get one of the early floor bosses on a summer floor. And there's actually achievements that unlock things for beating like one of the early bosses in both spring and in summer. So, but you do get a new boss set on the late summer floors, which are diabolical. There's one boss in the summer floors that I've yet to be able to actually beat, which is what keeps stopping me from getting past floor 4, unfortunately. I just haven't learned it. It's very pattern recognition type bosses, which are really well done bosses. Have I played anything else? Let me look at my desktop. Here, what do I have on my desktop? I mean, I played some of the Sun and Moon for my Free Game Friday yesterday, which is a really charming little platformer game that won Ludum 29. Very simple graphics, kind of mono green. At first, it seems like a very basic platform, but the theme was beneath the surface, and then at the first level, it's just telling you the controls and to pick up these things and hit the exit, and to pick up all of them to get to the exit. I'm like, this is just very basic graphic platformer. Why did this win anything? Then when you get to floor 2, it starts actually introducing the main mechanic where if you jump and then hold like shift on your keyboard, or I mapped it to my gamepad trigger, you actually sink down into the platform. And it's like that's where beneath the surface comes from, and then it has its own reverse gravity. Pretty much, you go down into it a ways based on your momentum, and then come back around and shoot back up out of the platform. And it gets really complex, and the levels get very interesting using that mechanic. You guys should check it out. Search Ludum, you'll find it on their website. It's the winner of the Ludum 29, the most recent one. It's pretty good, and it's free, so you should go play it. Or you can go watch the video of it on my channel that just went up yesterday for, Free Game Friday, so I can shamelessly self-promote my channel right now. Go do that. I haven't been playing any more Copod yet, Lady Jade. I wanted to play more of it. I just haven't got around to it because I'm completely addicted to Ascendant. But Copod, we had the developers on last week of, and it's a very cute action roguelike. And also very, very dirty. At least if you're Jade and me, it's very, very dirty. If you want to see more about how dirty Copod is, just go watch last week's VOD from the last randomly generated podcast. And the greatest quote from Lady Jade ever is, "I just do it for the sperm."
It was that is making me want to look up the game anymore now.
Because it's cute sperm. That's the reason behind it, according to Jade in the chat right now, but still.
Okay.
You had to play the game or watch the video of it to actually understand what that means, but...
Yeah, no, this is a conversation I'm completely happy staying out of.
Oh, we'll drag you in. Some week I'll try to, like, get you back on the podcast and Jade at the same time, and it's an experience. It's an experience. But I do agree with something Jade said earlier about, like, the voices on the podcast right now. I don't know about my own voice, but SuddenlyNinja, it's a good voice. There's no accent, or at least American accent, as they call it, which to us sounds like no accent. But he does have a wonderful voice, which is another reason you should go sub to his channel and watch his videos. Because he puts so much time and effort and work into those videos, and he have, like, what, 150 subs? It's...
Yeah, just about now. It's coming up to 150 now. Yeah, but I have to be honest. I just celebrated my 2 years on YouTube because that was the official. The 10th of May was my official actual 2-year anniversary of the channel. But I've not been making videos for 2 years straight. I've had a couple of gaps of some weeks, some months in between there. I was dealing.
I thought you were
with,
dead for a while.
Yeah, I was kind of, just gone from the surface of the earth for a while. I was dealing with depression. We moved to a new apartment, all that now. But I'm in a better place now, so everything is looking up.
And in your new apartment, do you have like a dedicated recording area? Is that the kind of thing? I think before you.
Yeah, you can kind of say that the front door leads directly to a staircase. And you go up the staircase and you get into this big, like, hallway. And to the left is the bedroom, to the right is the living room. But the hallway is sufficiently big enough for me to have kind of like some sort of mini office here. So there's a little recording booth here and some of those eggshell foam things that I put up.
Sound foam?
Yeah, sound foam. And so basically, girlfriend basically lets me use this space as kind of like an impromptu office until we move to a place that has an actual office.
But it's still better than it previously was. Wasn't your desk originally just in your living room?
Yeah. Before this, we actually lived in my student's apartment, which was 18 square meters. And we had to eat, sleep, live, have 2 desks there, and, basically do everything.
So it was a studio apartment kind of place. So it was basically one room and a bathroom. Is that the kind of place?
Yeah, yes, but the bathroom was shared.
Oh, ew.
Yes.
Ew.
We
college
lived
life.
Yeah, we basically lived at 18 square meters for 4 years. And then I
that would make recording tough because, that's the room, especially if you live somewhere, they, want to watch TV, but you want to record or... anything that makes noise going on in the one room, that would be a bad situation.
That was the most difficult. Looking back at it, that was the most difficult time in my life because when I was on my own, I started living there when I was on my own, and I met my current girlfriend when I lived there, and she kind of joined me there. But when I was alone, that wasn't that big of a problem because, well, I'm alone, so I can record basically whenever I want to, and I can just mute the TV or just turn it off and there'd be no background noise and nobody to kind of deal with in the background. And then I met her and it was like, well, yeah, I still want to make videos, but, that was about the time when I started the SuddenlyNinja YouTube channel. I did a channel before this, but I won't link you to that. It's awful.
It's a past you try to forget.
It is, yes, that is in a big bin somewhere out in the back. But then that was she suddenly girlfriend turned out to be hugely supportive, and she really saw that this was something that makes me happy. And at the time, it was one of the few things that helped me through the slight depression I was going through. And she basically gave me all the room and free play to just develop that.
Or at least that she could, living in a single room kind of thing.
Yeah, the best we could. We just did the best we could.
I'm glad you're in a better place now and not living in a single room. And that, I've lived in a studio place before. It's not pleasant.
It's not pleasant, no. It's not that bad when you're actually doing it. But now that we now have an actual apartment with a separate bedroom and a separate living room and our own toilet and shower. It is such a luxury. And now looking back at the time that we lived in that very cramped space and we had to do everything there, it just seems awful, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
Well, but you were going to college for video editing type stuff, correct?
Yes, I used to do that.
Which is why he's so damn good at it. I'm going to say that.
Well, thank you in the first place, but I have to follow that up and say that I never actually finished that course. I did 2 years of it, where I learned basic editing and like After Effects stuff, so basic 2D animation, and then I quit because I decided the school wasn't for me. So yeah, then I started working at this store, this optician store, and after a year of working there, they basically told me that, hey, you want to go become an optician? I was like, yeah, can I do that? They were like, yeah, totally. I was like, but I don't have any money to pay for education. They were like, no, that's okay. You just go to school and we'll pay for it. It's like,
wow,
what?
That's pretty cool.
Basically getting, I was giving myself up for a degree. And I was like, I'm never going to get a degree. I'm always going to be stuck living in a crappy shop, just selling glasses to people who can't even see what I'm selling them. And and they were like, no, here's a golden ticket to get a pretty, pretty good diploma, actually. So I was like, yeah, I can do that.
See, that's a ticket to a career rather than just a job. That's what that is.
Well, yeah, basically in the long run it is. So, but that was also the point where things kind of started turning around for me, because now I had a nice job. I like my job, and I was developing skills in that field. I was doing education. I was receiving knowledge and all those kinds of things. So I had a prospect for the future, man. And then I still had YouTube to do on the off days or in the evenings. So I'm actually completely happy at this point.
I've had a similar situation where my career has recently changed, and I'm now in a job that pays a hell of a lot better, that it's actually a career, not a dead-end job. Previously, I wasted most of my life in food industries. I would highly recommend not ever doing that. Don't work
No.
in restaurants.
I tried it once. I tried it once, and when I quit that job, this was about 10 years ago. When I quit that job the first time, I worked in kitchens. So it's incredibly hot and incredibly dirty, and I did that for about a year, and then I told myself, I cannot do this. This is just This is inhumane to work in these conditions. So I quit for about 7 years, and then I kind of forgot why I quit. So I was stupid enough to take up another job in another kitchen, and after 2 weeks, I was like, all right, this is why I hate this job.
Yeah, I've spent the better part of like 14 years in food industries, and now I've been trying to get into an IT job for a long time. Where I live, there's only really one corporation that has a real IT department in this town, which some people in America might know. The company is Cabela's. You probably don't know what that is anywhere foreign, but it's an outdoors outfitter, kind of hunting, fishing, power sports, that kind of stuff, and it's the largest in the industry. And it's actually started in this little town. Well, a neighboring town. It started in the Cabela's family lives here. The actual family that the place is named for, they live here. And so the headquarters is here. And they have like 56 stores across the country. And I think they might have some in Canada now. Yeah, they have 5 in Canada now. And then there's also a couple corporate places, but the corporate headquarters is here in town, which actually employs most of this town, and it's the only place with a real IT department. And I've I've been fixing and building computers since I was 12, and I'm A+ certified, and I did used to work for tech support for a little while when I wasn't actually working in food industries. I've been trying to get in the IT department there for years and years, and it just never happened, and it finally did, and it pays so much better, and it's a job I love. So, and between that and doing YouTube, I'm pretty damn happy with my life how it is now too.
Yeah, if there's anything I want to say to the people listening right now is, if you're set up in college or you're going for a degree, make sure it is, at least 90% something that you like or even love doing. It's not worth trying to go for something that you think you're going to get a job in, that you have to do for the rest of your life, but secretly, you despise doing it. It's just not worth it.
But you said you like editing, so why did you stop the editing classes?
I don't know. At the time, I was like, I was 24, and I tried to start new courses like every 2 years, and I would just lose interest and lose drive to do that, because what they teach you, no, what they actually have you doing is
boring as balls.
Yeah, kind of like that. It's a very generalized kind of course, and the things that I liked were that there was basically three things that I really liked, and it was video editing, the After Effects and 2D animation stuff, and then the 3D animation things. I dabbled a little bit in that too. But then again, if you do one of those courses, it's highly generalized. So you get drawing and painting, and I even had English. I was like, what? I need to follow English classes?
Yeah,
so there was all these, like 75% of the curriculum I wasn't interested in. So it was really difficult for me to kind of, complete one of those courses. But I tried for 2 years, and then I quit, and then I signed up for a new course and tried that for 2 years. So I spent like 6 years doing school for on and off, and then finally decided that it wasn't for me.
Yeah, that is a lot of college courses. They always have a lot of other things they require you to do that make no sense for what you're going to the college for. I don't get it either. But it's like that here too. So there was a question earlier of where SuddenlyNinja's from. He's from the Netherlands, and if you
Yes, sir.
you all might be as shocked as I was to find out that English is not actually his first language. And yet,
it is not. No, I was about to. I was trying to answer that in chat, but the Hitbox chat is not working for me for some reason. So I apologize for not being on there. I can read it on the stream though. So
yeah, just keep trying to refresh every now and then while we're talking. It's no big deal.
oh man, I've refreshed it so many times. I think I'm from the 80s now. I'm so fresh.
Okay, that's not very fresh actually. It's kind of the opposite of fresh. That's old.
Come on.
But yeah, English isn't his first language. And like most of the time, it's very obvious, even to the people that are decent at English, that when it's not their first language, it's usually pretty obvious. Not at all for SuddenlyNinja. Dutch is actually your first language, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, speak some Dutch for us.
I knew the question was coming. What would you like me to say? Would you like me to read anything in Dutch, or hold on, I'll pull up some headlines here.
Wait, no. Somebody send me the link to the 50 Shades of Grey generator. We'll have him read that in Dutch. No, that's disgusting.
No, I can do that. I will do that.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm going to have to Google it now. 1 second. Oh, God. Really? Because this is pretty horrible.
Put it up in Skype, and I'll do my most sexiest and my smooth jazz voice.
50 Shades generator. It makes horrible things, so just letting you know that.
No, it's okay.
There is a video of Vapid reading this, which is a YouTuber that has an amazing voice, and it was so good and so bad at the same time.
Let me
go.
Let me get a drink, because this is gonna be gory.
That's fantastic.
I'm going to be glad I don't understand this, because I've heard enough of these.
I have to show this to people at work. This is great.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, why would I even suggest that? Because it popped into my head because the Vapid video of him reading 50 Shades of Grey, and he does it in several different, he has an amazing voice. He needs to get into doing voice acting for indie games and stuff, which actually I think he is for a few games, but...
This stuff, oh my god.
That's what I told you, dude.
What the fudge is this? You want me to read this?
Let's go. Oh, god.
I'll make a deal with you. I'll read this, and you put up some corny music. Something jazzy.
Jazzy.
Something like...
I don't have much music on my computer, actually. Let's see. Wait, I think I know a good song. Let's see, where is it? Walking with Swagger. We'll go with that one. Whoa, that's bloody loud. Hold on. Let me turn that down. There we go. There we go. All right, whenever you're ready.
Here we go. It's the 50 Shades generator, everyone.
In Dutch.
I would like you... in Dutch. So I have to... Oh, man. Hold on. Can I turn this into Dutch? Because it's too much for me to read it and then have to translate it.
Copy and paste it into Google Translator.
Okay, so it won't make sense, but you guys won't notice.
Yes.
Not only Dutch, it's broken Dutch.
There we go to Dutch. Okay. This is not gonna be pretty, and you will hear me laugh because I can actually...
Or gag.
See what it means. Some of the words also are not translating very well, so there might be some English in there.
Okay.
Oh man. Here we go. Het hameren maakt me spuiten mijn flens, vla over zijn je bent. Als ik niet studeer in Engels literature, aan mijn minge mousson lekken krijgt van mijn softtop tonijn taco. Is zijn kaas vastgeroeste lul aan mijn flappy maaltijd, lijkt op een gedraaide slipper achterlaten. Na mijn tampontunnel geploegd, hij vervolgens mijn kakshoot slam. Sommige meisjes zijn gelukkig alleen maar om de mofpluis als ze alleen. Maar ik kan niet uitstappen. Zonder dat een gerbil in mijn stank loopgraaf en een gloeilamp mijn scheetventiel. Het was heerlijk met zijn Room Reaper geramd in mijn beer. Vulling mijn kamer van squelch met een gloeilamp gewoon niet.
I had to mute my mic because I was laughing so hard. Because even in Dutch, the English words popping through, it's like, oh god, this is horrible. I know it's horrible.
It's even better. It's even better in Dutch. Let me do it in French.
Oh god, you speak French? Do it.
Here we go.
Let me restart the song. There we go.
What?
I restarted the song, so...
Okay, very good. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Le martelage me fait pleurer sur air. I actually know what it means. Hold on. Le martelage me fait pleuriser. Ma bride crème sur tout le jeu band. Si ne je stupide, pas que littérature anglaise pour obtenir mon binge mousson fouille de mon tourne à carapace moltaco.
Are you throwing the towel in at this point?
Send help!
You speak French too? Jesus Christ, you're talented.
Oh God. Dude.
I think it's even worse in other languages.
This gets even worse. I'm just looking through the list now, and there's a lot of languages in here we could try this stuff in.
Let's not. I don't think you could survive another one.
No. Okay, we're done.
Okay. But yeah.
After having my tampon tunnel plowed, he then proceeded to slam my poop chute.
If you guys want to hear how horrible the 50 Shades generator really is in in English. Go check out Edward Vapid's channel. He reads them like five or six of them, and he has an amazing voice, but he also does it in other voices. He does like a Watkins one, which is hilarious and wrong. Oh god, it's great.
The feeling of his creamy load.
Yeah, he does it better than that. You though, yours is pretty horrible. I can't do any voices at all, so I can't talk. But oh well. Okay, now that derails over, I have forgot a important part of the podcast, and that is the daily GIF, because that is one of the coolest features of Hitbox, as you will see here, is that you can embed GIFs into the chat, but only mods and admins can do it for obvious reasons. Porn GIFs, that's the obvious reasons. So that's today's daily GIF. That's the most entertaining one I could find. So,
It's actually pretty cute.
Yes,
I like that.
you missed last week's though. That last week's GIF was great. You know what? I'm going to do last week's again here as well. Let me pull that up here.
Well, thank you.
This because it's wonderful. Here's what was last week's GIF of the day. This is courtesy of Slothborn.
Whoa,
Oh shit!
Is that cat stuck in that slipper?
Yes.
It's very tiny on my screen, but is that what I'm seeing?
Yes. Let me get this without the nonsense after it so it actually embeds. There we go. Yeah,
Oh, what?
Trying to figure out what's going on. Oh,
What?
there we go.
I think I saw a movie just like this, but it didn't end with the guy dying.
The guy doesn't die. It's actually from the weirdest music video in existence. Turn Down the What? You can search it on YouTube sometime. It has that, and they just go to the lower floor to another family, and they start dancing down there. It makes no sense. There's like possessed breasts in it. Like there's a lady's boobs that are possessed by Satan, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh.
Kind of reminds me of this. Oh God, what was the guy's name? There was this when I was doing 3D animation. We used to do a lot of work with Cinema 4D, and there was a guy who was on the development team of Cinema who made. He kind of basically made the way that you animate human characters inside of that program. So, but to demonstrate it, he made a little video, and it's called "Going to the Store." And the guy's name is David Lewandowski.
Wait, that's with that creepy ass mannequin, right?
Yes,
I've
it's the
seen
creepy
that.
ass mannequin.
Yes.
It is so friggin' cool. I'll put it up in the Skype chat right now.
Yeah, that went super viral. Like, I think most people know about that video. It is weird. It is weird
That is
shit.
First time I saw that, I don't have an ass because I laughed it off.
It is strange and wonderful. So, oh, you put it in. Oh yeah, right. Your chat's not working. Let me share this. This is another cool thing about Hitbox. You'll see this here in a second. Let me copy.
We'll actually load the video into the chat.
It will embed the video in chat.
That is cool.
I guess I'll hit play and mute it though, so you can see it played in the chat here.
Yes.
There we go. It's not a great size video player or anything, obviously, but this is why I love Hitbox and stuff like this. I can also Hitbox has a really cool feature where I can literally send a poll to the chat, where it literally pops up on the chat, built into Hitbox. These are the reasons I love Hitbox. So this is supposed to demonstrate how realistic the human movement is in Cinema 4D. Is that what?
Yeah. The guy who made this, he created the system to be able to animate humans like humans basically.
It's not very human-like. I'm just gonna say that.
No, because in order to demonstrate all of the ways that this mannequin could move, he had to think of a couple of situations where he could just stretch the body, and this was apparently the best way he thought of doing that.
And it went super viral. And
it went awesome. It almost 20 million views.
Yeah, if he would partnered and monetized, he would have made some good cash off of that.
Oh yeah.
And that video has been around. That's been around for a long time.
It's pretty old, yeah.
Yeah, but I never understood any context to that video. Now that you explain it to me, it kind of makes some sense now.
Yeah. There's a couple of more that he made, but I won't share those with you.
Dare I ask why? Was he making porn with Cinema 40? Okay.
No, they're a lot shorter. There's when this guy was this was before he was on the Cinema 4D development team. He was in school himself, and he actually made. He was one of the pioneers of Cinema 4D, so he kind of developed the program. But that started when he was himself in school for 3D animation. And he was so fed up with his classes because they didn't really teach him anything about the whole 3D thing. And actually, so just he followed those classes for about 2 months. And then after 2 months, he decided to retaliate by making a video with everything they taught him in that class. And it's just horrible. It's horrible. They took 2 months of his life and basically taught him nothing about 3D animation. It's kind of like an inside joke, but...
A lot of college courses are kind of like that.
Yeah.
There's definitely some schools that are definitely better about it than certain ones. It's like the same thing with game design. I've heard from a lot of people who go into college for game design and like they learn almost nothing from some colleges, but some colleges are really good about it, where you actually make a game in your first year. So in some colleges, you barely learn anything. In like maybe the third or fourth year, you can actually make something. But
Well, that's exactly, because with software like this, and also 2D animation and 3D animation and like video stuff, you learn the most, you get the most practical knowledge by just doing things. And you do things in your own time, working on your own projects. And school's just there to kind of get you into contact with people who do kind of the same thing as you, and also to get kind of like a basic kind of knowledge about the program, but you can just expand on that yourself.
The sad truth of it is, with a lot of those programs like After Effects and learning that stuff, you can actually learn more a lot faster from YouTube videos, the tutorials on how to use it, than you can actually paying ridiculous amounts of money to a college for it.
Completely agree. Yeah, there's
same
a website.
with video editing. Video editing, you can learn everything from just YouTube tutorials.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, just basic techniques and shifted welds and kind of like those things. Those are basic techniques, and as long as you know how the software works and what buttons to push, then all that's really stopping you is what you can think of you want to make.
So that's your choice. Learn from YouTube if you're more of a self-learning type person. You don't have the things like having to pass tests and stuff. Learning from YouTube. So if you're a person who's good at self-learning, you can learn that stuff perfectly fine from just YouTube videos, or you can pay like $30,000 to a college for it.
I not completely. This kind of sounds like I'm all for, not going to college, but don't forget, it is expensive, but you do get a lot of contacts. You do go on internships. You kind of get into touch with people who do the same things as you, teachers who can teach you things, and there's
the piece
just
of paper.
Don't go there. No, don't expect to go there. Like from 10 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, and that's it. You're not gonna get very good at what you want to do if you just leave it in the hands of the teachers. You got to be able to expand on that knowledge yourself.
And unfortunately, learning something from YouTube, even though you can learn all those same skills, that piece of paper means something. People aren't going to hire you when you put in your resume, I learned how to video edit on YouTube.
Definitely.
If you have a degree in it, even though you can learn the exact same thing yourself, that degree makes you credible.
That is the first step. You often in the creative industry, you hear people say like, well, your portfolio is the most important thing, and it is, because it should be the first thing that people see of you and the thing that impresses them. But sadly, the truth is that when you apply for a job together with the other 99 people that apply to the job, the first stack of applicants that's going out the door is the stack that don't have the right papers. Yeah. And you don't even get looked at if you don't have the papers. So
yeah, they won't even look at your portfolio if they don't see those things a lot of the time. Yeah. Now, if you're want to learn those skills to do stuff that's self-done, like YouTubing or indie game devs. I know quite a few indie game devs that never went to college for game design. They learned themselves. And if you're going to do something where you're doing it for yourself, then it's perfectly legitimate because you don't need to prove it to somebody. You just need to make a product that people want to watch or buy. Or Steve, you get on this. Did you go to college for game design?
No, I actually went to college for programming. But honestly, if I hadn't learned it on my own, it would have been useless. Like I knew how to program before I went to college. I just went there to get the degree.
Yeah, exactly. And but if you're doing it for yourself, then you can get away with that. But if you want to try to get a job somewhere, you need that piece of paper.
Exactly. Yeah.
We should probably try to get back on rails here and move on a little bit to the news segment. Well, of course, the biggest piece of news that happened recently and the internet shit itself inside out about was the rumor that's not yet confirmed that Google is looking to buy Twitch. That's a big thing, and a lot of people are freaking out about it. And I would not doubt that this, even just coming out as a rumor, has actually been good for Hitbox, because there's a lot of people that don't like Google, and like we use YouTube. A lot of YouTubers use YouTube just because there's no other choice. Google has done many things over just since I started YouTubing. Every time they do something, it seems like they're doing things that make it harder and harder for content creators. And then now they're buying Twitch, and now a lot of people are screaming that it's going to be the death of Twitch. So I'm pretty sure this is definitely going to help Hitbox, and it probably already has in some way, if it's not huge, at least a little bit, But yeah, Google buying Twitch. They decided instead of putting effort into their own streaming services is utter garbage right now, and then having to actually make it a service that isn't terrible so people want to use it to have any chance of grabbing any market share of the streaming world, they just decided they would use their world-crushing wallet to buy a streaming service instead. That's Google's special move, is the wallet crush. It's like Final Fantasy VII, like Meteor Strike, except for just a giant Google wallet falling down. It's interesting, and most people don't think it's a good thing. There could be good things coming out of it, but God, Google, the shit you've been doing with YouTube. One thing is definitely for sure, is if you're a streamer, one thing you definitely should stop doing if this actually happens, and this is done very commonly on Twitch, is if you're a partnered streamer, actually monetizing, you should stop playing copyrighted music on your stream. They shouldn't be doing that in the first place, but it's common practice on Twitch, unfortunately.
That is something that's going to be kind of cracked down on when, I say deliberately when, because it's still a rumor, when Google actually takes over Twitch, because the situation at YouTube now is that there's automated bots going around, and that most of the copyrighted music is being taken down, and even some of the legit music that people made themselves is being taken down because it's being confused by the bots that are going around. So that is my biggest fear for when or if they actually take over Twitch, is that they're going to continue that system on Twitch, and it's just going to destroy a whole lot of original content and streams there.
Yeah. I don't, my opinion, those people that stream copyright music shouldn't be doing it in the first place if they're partnered. It's just a bad idea. Just because Twitch isn't as big of a target doesn't make it any less illegal. And once Google takes over Twitch, then it makes Twitch a much bigger target for companies to target that kind of stuff. So, for chasing copyright trolling and all that stuff. So that's a downside, is Google owning Twitch will make Twitch a bigger target for that kind of nasty stuff. So which, Google will need to crack down on it to, cut that off at the pass before it happens.
Yeah, exactly. And it's either a good thing or a bad thing, and only time can tell. It can go either way.
A few good points in the chat. Get ready for Google Plus integration into Twitch and have that jammed down your throat some more.
Yes,
and
that is. I'm seeing some good guys, some good things as well. Yeah, it's. Google Plus.
This content is not available in your country. If that starts happening on Twitch, that'll be utter garbage. They could do some really good things, though, and I kind of hope they do. One thing, Google and their adherence to their archaic business model is it sucks. I've wanted for a long time Google, YouTube to get a subscription service like Twitch has, where someone can pay $5 a month and not see ads on the channel they subscribe to. Which
that is exactly the problem with YouTube, because there had been, and this is about a year ago, where there were rumors about YouTube doing like paid subscription channels. So you could actually there's actually a couple of channels, about 30 or 40 channels out there that you can only see videos of if you're subscribed to them, and that's a monthly subscription. But that was a testing phase, and when they rolled that out, there was such a huge shitstorm around it. And it was just people were, and I'm stealing this word from Total Biscuit, but people were entitled. They felt entitled to free content, where the channels that were using these paid subscriptions were putting loads of time and loads of effort into these videos. So it's not a crazy idea at all to just...
The whole paid subscription thing, it exists, but there's no flexibility in it. It's pay to see the channel, period, which is... They made that for traditional media companies to try to coax them into putting their content on YouTube. It's for pay-per-view. Like, they want WWF to put matches on YouTube on their channel, and it's a subscription channel. This is YouTube trying to... This whole subscription service was trying to get the archaic, old-school, that shouldn't exist anymore media companies to want to put content on the platform.
Yes,
it's not made for people like us. If any of us paid subscription to our channel, it would destroy our channel instantly.
Exactly. That is the point I was trying to make. It's like YouTube was kind of built upon a lot of smaller people putting out incredibly original content. I'm not trying to include myself here, but and what YouTube is actually doing is saying, okay, we have all these people who make amazing content, and what we're going to do is we're going to pick the top 20 most corporate channels and give them this option. And I'm like, no, you should pick some of the smaller guys and see how that goes.
It's an okay service if they can get companies like WFC and stuff to come over and put content on. If people want that content and are willing to pay the $5 a month or whatever, that's fine. It doesn't affect the rest of YouTube as a whole and what we've all been doing and whatnot. But they need to expand that system to have the ability to be like $2 a month subscription for my channel, and they never see ads on my videos. But it doesn't paywall the videos. Everyone else can still watch them, which like Twitch does with their subscription service. They need to have that option. And one really cool thing, and this is something Northern Lion said in tweet, is but when this rumor is going around, is Google adopt the subscription model, the subscription model from Twitch, and make billions, because they would. If they combine this is what I would love to see. If I don't want complete integration of Twitch and YouTube, together, but I do want the accounts to tie together in a way where then if someone subscribes to your YouTube channel or your Twitch channel, it's a subscription for both, where you then have ad-free content on both the Twitch channel and the person's YouTube channel. And, like, say you could then do other cool things like allow your subscription emotes from Twitch to be used in your comments on your YouTube channel. Make it one package, which adds a lot more value to that $5 subscription that it is on Twitch right now. And a lot more people would subscribe to it just because if they like both your content on one or other service or on both of them. That would be a really cool system, especially like chat emotes in comments. That would be pretty cool. A lot of people would be all over wanting to do that because chat emotes are a big thing on Twitch. Your channel's specific emotes that you get if you are a partner on Twitch. You can make your own emotes, or anyone that doesn't know that, and have them usable in your chat only on Twitch. And now if you could expand that over to YouTube and have it as one cohesive subscription package, that would be cool as shit. That would be best case scenario for me of what Google could do. Because Google, they're an advertising company, so I see them sticking to their guns of just being advertise-based content stuff. But it's not going to work out for them forever. There's ad block spreads more and more every day. Those kind of programs that's pretty much taking money from Google for people watching YouTube videos.
not even ad block. It's also I was going to say all of the legitimate things. Ad block is a legitimate thing, but there's also, if YouTube or Google and specifically it keeps going down this road of like, we want to make more money and we want to make it inconvenient for you to watch content without paying us money, then there's going to be more and more alternatives like Hitbox that offer either free content or a better system to watch content. So,
well, Hitbox is business model wise is exactly the same as Twitch, is ad based. So, and I can run ads right now, but I'm not partnered. So if I run ads right now, it would be just making money for Hitbox. But if you're partnered on Hitbox, you can make money. Not going to do anything.
Yep. The whole system is lending itself to people moving away to what they think is best. And Google and YouTube and later on maybe Twitch can do whatever they like. But if there's a better service that's going to do things better, then I think people will automatically shift to that.
Yeah. And there's, but again, going back to YouTube and their business model, there's a lot of threats to it now. There's ad blocking. There's a lot of YouTubers using Patreon and keeping their channel ad free, which saves you a world of trouble because content ID matches and stuff don't happen if you're not monetizing your videos. If you're monetizing through a third party like Patreon, then you don't have to care about any of that, which makes life a lot easier. And then there's people out there, that sell t-shirts and stuff, and I've seen some comments on YouTube videos that, like, this person's like, I bought your t-shirt because I like your content and I want to support you, but I can't stand ads, so I ad block. So that's cool that, they're still getting supported by it, but the problem with all of those methods that is to support the content creator is Google's not making money off of that. They're basically eating Google's lunch. Google is hosting that content and making nothing off of it if you're doing other means of monetization instead of advertising. And if every single YouTuber did that, YouTube wouldn't exist. If YouTube doesn't make money, it doesn't exist. Google could, what they should do is add additional means of monetization where they're taking a cut as well, instead of some third party like Patreon getting a cut of the money for the content that's being put up on YouTube. That, honestly, that's like horrible business decision to even let that continue happening, or at least not give your own methods of doing what that's doing. People have asked for years on YouTube that they want a subscription service, pay a couple bucks a month and don't see ads on this person's channel. And then Google is getting their cut from that, so they're still making money, and that makes a lot more money than ads do. Like, if one person pays $5 a month, which, say, $2.50 of that, half of that goes to Google, you get a lot more money off that person than you do in his views for advertisings per month.
Exactly, and it's that lack of flexibility that if YouTube or Google or the combined forces ever go down, it's going to be because there's going to be something else that's going to be more flexible and allows its users more freedom in the way that you just described, more alternate forms of monetization and
so people quit having to go to third parties to get that kind of thing. And third party services. These third party services, I like Patreon and all, but they're making money. They're not just about YouTubers, but the YouTubers, they're making money off of someone else's systems and bandwidth and data storage. They're making their cut of those pet pledges off of YouTube's back. They literally are. And it seems scummy, really. It does. And I want YouTube to exist. I want it to be better, but I want it to continue to exist. And if every single person in the world started using AdBlock, actually even if half the people in the world started using AdBlock, or if every single YouTuber went to Patreon or something, YouTube would cease to exist. They would not make any money.
They would be in big trouble, yeah.
Exactly. And it's a problem that's not going to go away. It's a problem that just gets worse. So Google really needs to innovate. And this Twitch thing, like I suggested, having all-in-one bundle subscription is a best way of doing that. Like, that's so win-win-win right there. Yeah.
Yes.
But the other video service sites have this kind of stuff. Like, I think Dailymotion has a button under every video to tip the creator. If you want to, you like the video, you can just click that and, like, PayPal the guy money directly. Tip the creator or tip the content producer or whatever you want to call us. And I don't know a single person on YouTuber on YouTube that would hate that. Like,
No, it can that could be that. I didn't know that, but it sounds like a very good system if they could somehow incorporate that, while they're taking over Twitch.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, just set up a Twitch account, put some money in, and put a button just similar to that under the stream. If you have 1,000 viewers on your stream and the button donates 5 cents to the streamer, he'll be able to live off that if he does a good stream, and it'll cost you 5 cents.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking
said?
in thin air here.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. What some guy said, a subscription to YouTube that makes everything on YouTube ad free would not work for YouTube. There are too many. Well, I mean, they could do it in a way that Twitch does, because Twitch has their other subscription, the Turbo mode, which makes all Twitch channels ad-free. But what happens is when you go to someone's Twitch channel and you're not seeing the ad, they still get credit as if you were seeing the ad. So it's not taken away from the content creators. So I guess that could work, but there are so many YouTube channels for that money to be spread around that say someone subscribes to YouTube, all channels free for $10 a month. That would mean that every channel on YouTube would get like 1/1,000,000th of a cent of a cut of that.
Yeah.
Maybe. That would actually be losing money doing that. It's just too big for it to work. It works on Twitch because Twitch doesn't have near as many channels as YouTube does. And so the people on Twitch still get the ad count, even though the person didn't see an ad. And that's fine, because that one person paying that $5 a month isn't going to see enough ads if they didn't have it to make up that $5. That's not exactly the case on YouTube. I don't know, it might work, since that one person would still... So I guess if you did it, because you'd only be counting towards what that person would actually normally view, not counting towards what every YouTuber in existence. So maybe that would be doable, but...
What you could do is just do what they do on TVs, which they offer certain packets of combined channels. And what you could do is just, there's a cooking pack and a gaming pack and a racing car pack, and the cooking pack has 15 channels that all have to do with cooking, and the gaming pack has 15 or 20 channels that have to do with gaming. And you just pay a like you said, just a steady
rate.
fee, like $10, just a flat rate, and you get to watch these 15 channels and whatever they do. So now instead of
Without
having
ads.
to,
without ads.
yeah, without ads, and now without, instead of having to divide those $10 up into millions and millions of bits, you just have these 15 or these 20 channels that you kind of have to divide it up into.
But that would be a very case of rich getting richer and poor staying poor. Like those 15 gaming YouTube channels that are in that package would be the 15 already huge gaming channels on YouTube.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So, but I was thinking of it wrong, because when someone pays a flat rate for like a YouTube-wide subscription, it wouldn't be about dividing that among all YouTubers. It would be, as long as that $5 a month they're paying makes more money for Google than the amount of video views that person normally puts in a month, which most likely will, unless you watch a couple 100,000 videos a month, would probably be more. Then it's just do the same way Twitch does, where if those people view a channel, and they don't see the ad, but that channel's creator still gets gets the credit as it's an ad view. So as long as that person isn't viewing more videos than they would make from the ad revenue off those videos, then it would even out. So, which is how Twitch does it. I guess I was thinking of YouTube as a whole, but not when a person pays for a subscription to YouTube. That's a lot of content, but they're not going to watch all that content. They're not going to watch a video from every single YouTuber in existence. So. It's interesting, but I do like the package idea, especially because a lot of Twitchers and YouTubers, their community is their strong point. Building that community, and the whole ability to use these emotes across both platforms in the comments as well I don't know, that's a good thing for community, that community feel and that and whatnot, and a lot of people would really dig that, I'm sure. So because a lot of Twitch emotes have become pretty much meme status. Some of the global ones, of course, like Kappa and whatnot, but raise your dongers and stuff on Northern Lion, it's pretty much meme status everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to see what the
So it could be done very well, is my argument. Will it? Probably not.
Probably not. Knowing I just saw JD Gray, who's my brother, my little brother. So I want to do a little shout out. Yay! And he said quite a while back in chat that Google has a track record of doing things not very well. So it's like you said, it's going to be done, but it's probably not going to be done very well.
Yeah, and I would say they don't do things very well because, like, the systems and whatnot work, itself on YouTube work well, and amazingly well for the kind of volume you have to think about YouTube does. But it's like everything they do seems like they're trying to make it harder and harder for content creators, especially game content creators. They seem to intentionally do everything they can to make our lives miserable, even though it's what makes them the most money on YouTube, which is probably the only reason they tolerate our existence. It's because that makes them the most money on YouTube. When Twitch is an entirely game-driven service, and YouTube has proven in the past that they don't really give a shit about gaming content except for the money it makes them.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me really uneasy, is because Google does, like, content ID match stuff. It's nonsense in the game world, I've got content ID flagged once, and it was when I played a Kickstarter trailer during this podcast, and the podcast VOD got flagged because of the music of the Kickstarter trailer.
Yeah, it's a system that it is the whole copyright infringements, and not even a copyright infringement, but the marks. What do you call them? The the YouTube
the strike system.
The strike system. It is not intended for gaming content because there's so many factors that you need to factor in. When is a game? When is footage of a game yours, and when is it still the developers? Is it because basically every time you play a game, you're playing his game, but you're also doing things your way. So it's kind of like your world. And
the biggest problem with content ID is music in games. That's the biggest issue with it. Is that people then supposedly the developer owns the rights for that in the game, but then the composer, because a lot of people outsource their music, puts it up in systems that end up in the content ID system, in which content ID matches aren't the same as strikes. They are not a threat to your channel like a strike is. But pro tip, indie developers, do not put music in your game trailer that is on the content ID match system. Seriously. And make sure your composer isn't putting that shit in the content ID match system. They're not using something like Indie Music Service, which automatically puts everything in the content ID match system. Illegally, I will add. The content ID match system clearly states in its terms of service that you can only upload stuff, put stuff into that system if you own exclusive rights to it. Not more than one person can own exclusive rights to something. So if the indie developer pays for the music, and that always includes exclusive rights to that music, the maker of it still owns non-exclusive rights to it as well, so they can still use it for things, but they're then uploading it to a system that's for exclusive rights only. And you guess, even if you point that out to YouTube, though, they don't actually do anything about it, so... But, yeah, God, like, the whole thing with, like, the VVV dev, where his own trailer got content ID matched for his game because the damn music was in the content ID match system. Even though he's the one that owns the exclusive rights to that. It's nonsense. But one thing I can say about this rumor is, one thing has happened, this rumor exploded, and neither two sides have denied the rumor. Neither Google has come out and said, nor Twitch has come out and said it's not true. So that is confirmation enough in my book, because normally they would just shoot it down immediately if it wasn't true.
Yeah, they can't do that in this instant because, well, obviously it's true. Like you said, they would shoot it down right away.
Yep. All right, I guess we were on that topic long enough. Let's see what else do I have. The other thing we wanted to talk a little bit about is the recent news that Total Biscuit got, because both me and SuddenlyNinja are pretty big fans of Total Biscuit. He was a large part of our inspiration for starting both of our channels, and he recently announced on Twitter yesterday, actually, that let's go back a little bit. He put a video up on his channel a while ago and tweeted about it and stuff about something he's had problems with for years, and it's a very embarrassing kind of situation that you really don't want to talk about, but he did, so other people, and even to a doctor, he ignored the problem for years. And then he put a video out so people could learn from it, not be stupid like him and ignore problems. But he's had intestinal problems or bathroom issues for years, and ignored it, and then finally he went to see a doctor about it, and then they found something in his colon. And then yesterday he got the results back from the biopsy on it, because previously they're like, it's probably not cancerous, but we can just get it removed now before it becomes cancerous. Well, they did a biopsy and it is cancerous. He ignored the problem for too long, and it did become full-blown cancer. It's not horrible situation cancer. He's going to be on chemo in the pill form, so it's not the worst case scenario by far. And they'll chemo for a while and then surgically remove it, and most likely everything will be okay. But he did ignore the problem so long that it became cancer. Yeah, it is cancer. TB has cancer and is going to be on chemo and then have a surgery to get it removed.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like Fedora Gamer said. That was he's one of the guys that I don't want to say look up to, because he wouldn't be a guy that would like it if people would look up to him. But he is basically the reason that I started doing YouTube and I started liking YouTube. So that was when I saw that news, and he tweeted about it before that there was something going on there, but he wasn't really sure. And then yesterday he indeed tweeted that he had, like he described it, full-blown cancer. And that was kind of a shock for me. I mean, this is one of the guys that, like I said, I kind of look up to him.
He's definitely an inspiration to me for my channel, and
yeah,
it sucks. It sounds, all the doctors are saying it's, early stage cancer and it should be easy to fight and win. But you never know in those things, things happen. And it's all because he was just too embarrassed to even talk to a doctor about his problems. And his video is a very personal thing to talk about, and it takes a lot of courage to put a video up like that. But he did it to hopefully warn other people that might be experiencing the same symptoms he did, and to not ignore it and go to a doctor about it instead of ignoring it like an idiot. That's his words. He called himself an idiot many times in that video. If you can't, I don't know the link to the video right off the top of my head, but it's on his channel if you want to go watch it and such. And basically he's put that video out there so maybe it'll save somebody someday. Maybe somebody will catch an issue earlier than he did, and it will save them a lot of discomfort in time and medical issue bills and stuff. Because if it's just if they can get out before it becomes cancer, that's a lot. That one surgery is a lot cheaper than chemo and repeated surgeries and such. Even from a monetary perspective. And I have a lot of respect for him for putting out that video. It's something I probably couldn't talk about on a video. He's not. Well, I can talk about personal stuff easier than he does. He does not like talking about personal stuff, so that really took a lot from him to be able to put that video out, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy thing talking on the internet about problems you have with your stool, or it's kind of personal things like that. But he basically, like you said, did it to warn other people and to tell them that if you have problems or pain or blood coming out of orifices that it shouldn't be coming, get your ass to a doctor. Literally, get your ass to a doctor. That was not intended, but
yeah. So all of our best wishes go to TB, and hopefully a speedy recovery without complications, and they beat it quickly.
Yes.
And I think we should get to playing a Heart some, because we've gone off topic so much that this podcast is going to run late at this rate. I'm fine with that, but let me fire up some AE Heart. This is the game by Steve, aka Telon Towers or Teflon Towers. And
if you guys have any questions about the game in chat, you can just ask in there. I'll be around.
SuddenlyNinja is getting errors on his, so right now you can play with it and see if you can get it to work if you want to. But
I've been doing that constantly for the last 30 minutes, but it's not. I don't think it's gonna live on my machine.
The joys of PC gaming.
Yes.
That also might be the first computer outside the states this is run on. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Not only do I have the first machine outside of the states that this software is on, it's also the first machine outside of the states that it's not working on. There's double premiere, ladies and gentlemen.
I do really appreciate that it has full screen windowed mode. I like when games have that. It's much easier for streaming. I did not get this set up on my OBS earlier, though. I forgot to. OBS, where'd you go?
God.
There you are. Yeah, hopefully it just works easy with game capture.
Yeah, I actually did have this on a Hitbox stream a couple months back, so.
Yes, I actually saw that stream in the mag, right? Indie Game Mag.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's where I learned of its existence, actually, was them streaming it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Let me... Okay, I'm going to turn the volume of that down a little bit. There we go.
And I'm sad that I can't play this. It looks awesome.
Well, hopefully we can get it working for you later, since this is a great chance to troubleshoot, I guess.
Definitely. You know what? If we can get this working, I'll feature this on my channel because I love it. Already.
Hey, awesome.
Okay, and now I'm going to start a new game. I've actually beat the game 3 times, but there's all kinds of different modes that you can mix and match, and you unlock them as you beat other modes. Like, Basic is the first one you have unlocked. And then there's different effects that I can have Basic and, what is this? Scattershot, Basic One-Way, Basic Stages. And then you can go down and keep going Basic crossways and etc, and then you can start getting really complicated, mixing 2 of the different modifiers together, and like fully beat this game you need to beat every one of these modes, which I'm going to go with basic stages right now, which I haven't beat yet.
There actually is a bug I found with stages. There's a patch coming out for it on this Desert soon, but you might want to do a different one.
What's the bug with stages? That might be why I was having trouble beating it. I don't know.
Oh, the advantages.
You actually can't get past can't get past stage 2 right now. It'll just leave you on stage 2.
Oh, I think I might notice that. So we're gonna do basic crossways right now.
That's better for now. Yeah, like I said, the patch is up. The Desert people just need to look at it and approve it.
And now we can pick different classes that we have unlocked here. I still have one that I have not unlocked. God, I forget which one I was actually preferring here. I think I preferred the Empyrean guy here. We'll start with him. Story-wise, I'm going to say that it's kind of a strange, a little bit convoluted story that I can't really sum up. Like, it's just... I can't sum the story up, so I'm just going to show you gameplay right now. No, I didn't really like this guy. I like something with ranged. I already chose him, though, so I guess I'm going to try Assassin, which changes your affinity, which is how many of each color block you end up with on your kind of leveling grid kind of thing. And also what blueprints you start with is what the class actually does here. Now, I will be perfectly honest, this game is visually simple. Not bad, but visually simple. And I don't actually mind it at all, but a lot of people have been complaining about on like Greenlight and such about the visuals.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did it? I
think they're charming.
Like I get games. I get a lot of games sent to me in a week, and I have to say this is one of the better looking ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
definitely. I get games with squiggles.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Let's go ahead, Steve, and give people the elevator pitch of what AE Heart is. I have trouble.
Music up.
Yeah.
I need elevator music for this.
I don't have elevator music. It's too terrible. I don't keep that on my computer.
God damn it.
But yeah, I mean, basically the reason I made this game is just because, like, I love action RPGs, but most action RPGs are just plot based. They don't really have great replayability. I wanted to make one that, I don't know, had that kind of combat, but something that I felt like I could play over and over. So basically, it's a action dungeon crawler, but there's also a building meta game, just to kind of split the games into 2 parts. That kind of like reflex based, like fast action part, and a more contemplative puzzle kind of mode.
The dagger's so damn short.
Yeah, it's rough to use.
This game I haven't made a video of it yet because it's kind of something that's hard to explain. There's so many systems that are very interesting and very unique, but that makes them difficult to explain. It actually takes a while playing before you come to grips with all of them, in my opinion.
It really does, yeah. And I mean, I made it that way purposely because I wanted it to still be fun once you'd played it for a while. So I wanted to make sure that there were enough systems to, have good complexity for every play. But yeah, it definitely means there's more of a learning curve to it.
These skeletons also have giant swords. I think they're compensating for something. Maybe the fact they don't have wings anymore at all. Being skeletons.
No skin at all.
Yeah.
That's why they never go to the parties, They have no body to go with.
The sword, the first time I saw one, I was like, holy crap, that's a big sword.
It's bad. It's bad. Is it bad that I like when I tell you to avoid the tall grass because there might be Pokemon in there?
It's not tall grass. It's actually like poison stuff is what that purple is.
Really?
Yes.
So avoid it anyway.
Yeah, it hurts you. There's the purple ground, and then there's lava, which it hurts a lot. Lava is nasty. Now, while we're picking up these suits and what they are, go ahead and explain to people what these are used for.
These suits are what you use for the building metagame. So once you've collected enough of a certain kind of suit, you can buy a building that will draw that color of suit from other buildings in your town. And basically, the end goal of the building metagame is to own all of the suits on the building board.
Yeah,
and so
enough to beat the game at
dungeon
least.
feeds directly into that because you have to collect a bunch of the suits from in levels to be able to buy those buildings.
One thing that's interesting is there's actually jumping in this, which you don't usually see from a top-down perspective game. There's actually jumping, which can avoid enemies and obstacles and projectiles. And it's like platform. There's some areas that are literally like platforming segments with the lava on the ground, and there's only little bits of actual ground that you have to jump around between. It's platforming on a top-down perspective, which is just bizarre and kind of wonderful. I got fire arrows. I did a dungeon there intentionally that its bonus reward was a blueprint. Blueprints are how you get different equipment, more powerful equipment, and you gotta focus a lot on blueprints actually, because if you don't get good blueprints, you're never going to win. So here are the blueprints I have, and now the interesting thing, this is a very interesting dynamic that I really like about this game, is that you have your items, which you use these ores to craft, and then you have your level grid, which you use the same ores to unlock things on the level grid. And you can reset either one of them. You can like demake any of the items and get the ore back, or reset or remove any of the things from the level grid. So you can actually, if you like, all of a sudden you find a great blueprint in one of the dungeons, you can actually remove stuff from your level grid to be able to go and make that item if you want to prioritize that over what you've unlocked on your level grid. So it's very flexible. And I don't have enough ore to make anything. Now these ores you gain from either leveling up is how you gain them for the most part, or then when you go and run the dungeons, they have a bonus thing here. It's either an ore or a blueprint, which right now these randomly change every time. Right now all of the dungeon options I have are blueprint rewards, but you actually have to go and find that item in the dungeon. If you leave the dungeon without finding it, you don't get it. Let's go ahead and look at the metagame you're talking about here. Here's your level map here, or your town map, and these buildings have the suits on them. Now you can build these other buildings that have a range of around them and a number here, as you can see up in the top right, and that's what they will take from the buildings that those touch, in the right spots. They, like this one here in the four corners there, will take 1 heart from the buildings around them in the corners. And you can get up to, now crisscross changes these actually, doesn't it? That's what the crisscross modifier does. This is the layout of what these where they can absorb from, changes with the crisscross modifier. Because normally this is in the 4 cardinal directions instead of the 4 diagonal directions around these buildings. So the crisscross modifier changes that. And you get down here, you get to some of these, which these are really weird in the crisscross. Crisscross is actually rather difficult because of these layout changes. And these ones actually absorb multiple colors in one shot, but they're very expensive. And these are mostly how you win. Now, why you're doing this is because of this Destiny map here. You need to do these things on the town to unlock these Destiny map. And like you need to increase the ocean dungeon level to get to this second part here. And you increase ocean dungeon level by absorbing the clubs from the other buildings. And you need to do this to unlock these paths, and all your paths need to unlock to the center to actually beat the game. And you need to do that within the 30 days. The game length is 30 days long. For storyline reasons, and I'm not really going to go into storyline because I would probably be really bumble around to try to explain the storyline. But you want to know the storyline, play the game. It's an interesting storyline, but it's not easy to explain. But so you end up having to unlock these entire paths to get to the middle part on all of the 4 suits to be able to win the game. So it's a race to get enough suits absorbed here on the town map to be able to do that. Now there's another mechanic to help you with that, which is you can place bets on dungeons. And at first you only place a bet of 1, but like let's say I have 10, I have 11 clubs, and these bet right now costs 10. So I'm going to put a bet on the club, which now will turn the club green here, and yellow on this one, because sometimes the dungeons generate with bets already placed on a suit, which is really nice. But you can place multiple bets to get up to like a color of blue, and each time you place a bet, this tells you right here there's 18 clubs in total on this dungeon. And every bet placed on it will double that. So if I place 1 bet on there, if I gather all of them at the end and win the dungeon, I actually get double that. And each bet keeps increasing that. Does it increase it like double, or is it like 18 plus 18 plus 18 with 3 bets on there?
Like 18 plus 18 plus 18.
Yeah, so if you have like 10 bets on something and there's 18 drops, you can get 180 actually at the end. But you have to win. If you don't win the dungeon, if you die in the dungeon, then you're out the money you spent on the bets, or out the suits you spent. Suits are kind of like a currency in their way, in their own way, but...
Yeah.
Okay, let's not die. I still only had the dagger, so I probably shouldn't have went to this dungeon. It's actually kind of a difficult dungeon. And this, dagger, terrible. I'm gonna lose so hard. You do have regenerating HP, which is good, but you also have a time limit in these dungeons, so you can't just stand around to regen your
Have you
HP.
unlocked the impossible mode yet?
Yeah, I've unlocked it, but I don't think I've ever actually done had one generate at that level.
Oh, okay.
There's like a thing to unlock it, but then you also have to get the dungeon level high enough for it to be impossible mode, don't you?
Yeah. For any of the modes or for any of the difficulty modes, until you actually unlock the impossible one, like from the game select screen. If you go on the impossible mode
that,
for the
yes,
whole game,
that. Okay.
Yeah, that'll actually make all the dungeons impossible the whole game.
No, I've only done normal mode, and I can barely beat normal mode. I beat the game 3 times, but it's been many plays to get those 3 wins. So it really comes down to a lot for me items that I get, you know, the blueprints that I get. So, oh shit! Well, there went that money for that bet.
Oh,
Bloody pits! Pits are instant death, unfortunately. Unlike lava and stuff, you can actually walk through them a little bit. Let's do... I have enough to bet on heart, so we'll do this top one. Cave is kind of difficult. I find ocean, actually, in forest to be fairly easy almost all the time. Like, the one... City, that's the one that always gets me because of those stupid pits. And then cave can get really tough with all the lava, but... I won't say they're really easy all the time, but terrain-wise, I never usually end up dying to terrain in those.
yeah, they're
ocean.
definitely not as rough.
Yeah, ocean and... I definitely prefer ocean and forest. Cave, oops, stupid bat. That bat was a goddamn sniper. I don't know where he came from. I don't see a bat, but it was a bat. There he is. God damn, he is a serious sniper. He hit me from like 100 yards.
Oh man, he did.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Now we get these flame pillar things, which unfortunately a lot of the terrain stuff hurts enemies, but the flame spinning things don't hurt enemies. They just push them. But lava, enemies quite often will kill themselves in lava, except for these red gels that are not affected by lava. But you can jump. Oh, bad timing on that jump. But you can jump over these flame pillars like that. Jump rope. Play some jump rope with these things. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, is like platforming on a top-down perspective. Yay, level up, get some more ores, because I really want to get flame bow. I need that. I need something with range. Okay.
And I was definitely inspired a lot by Link's Awakening, which is like the only other top-down game I can think of that has platforming in it.
Oh, that's a good point. I never thought before when the platforming aspect of this. I was thinking I've never really seen that before, but now that you mentioned that, I kind of have. Do not knock me into lava, you dickbags! Come on.
I actually like Link's Awakening more than Link to the Past just because they have that.
Yeah. All right. I need something besides this little pig sticker dagger. But it comes down to weapons a lot for me, of how I do in this game. And I will be honest, what some of the best weapons are supposed to be the best weapons, I kind of hate. Like Sword of the Seven Swords or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that thing. It's terrible. Mithril Spear. Mithril Spear is the best weapon in the game. That it's better than Shock Spear. You know, Shock Spear is supposed to be the best spear, but Mithril Spear, so much better. I love the Mithril Spear.
Mithril Spear definitely got it in like area of effect.
Yeah. And this is going to be hard without an ranged attack of any kind. And I'm on fire! I'm bloody burning. These things are nasty, and they are really hard to... Okay, I got him without getting hit by him. There we go. If you have a bow or a spell, there are spells in the game which are made from blueprints just like any other items, but they do take mana, which is, another resource. But yeah, I hate not having any range thing. I definitely want that bow. Now, we do have these several bars up at the top. We have HP, we have mana, we have stamina, which weapons that don't take mana take stamina, and then you can upgrade all of these, and they're regenerates through the level grid. The last one is your time, but you don't instant die at time. Then these just nasty ghosts, or the second to last one, excuse me, is time. These nasty ghosts start coming in and hitting you, and if you can't really survive very long after you hit 0 on the time, so it gives you time to run and get the hell out, though, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let me get into another dungeon here. I did get energy SP up. I don't want to make that. I do want to see if I can make the bow, though. Can I make the bow yet? Yes, I can make the bow. Good. But bows have limited ammo. I have 50 shots per dungeon, so you can't go spamtastic on it. Let's bet on diamonds here and do this one because it's an ocean that is a very small map. Is what those icons meant. An ocean's generally pretty easy. And I do have bow now. I still only have the dagger, though. Ah, you bloody thing. There you go. Oh, God! Exploding things. Those things explode. And if you can kill them before they explode, that's the best idea. Their explosions can kill other enemies, but them exploding themselves, you lose out on the experience from that. So, if you have ranged weapons, that's generally the best way of taking them out so you don't lose out on that experience. I don't like losing experience because those ores are important. Oh, jeez. I got a spitter up here that about got me. Also, the bloody frogs. God, they're squirrely bastards. The frogs jump around, and that makes them actually really hard to hit sometimes. You just gotta get in the rhythm with their jumping, but in where they land and hit them. But it can be a mess sometimes.
Yeah, they'll jump right over your arrows.
Yeah.
If you can, like, stagger lock them, sometimes you can beat them quick, but it's hard.
Oh, jeez. You know what? Just eat arrow, Skelly. Okay. Anyway, I was talking about the bars at the top anyway. I do not know what the last bar is. I have not been able to figure out what that actually is.
Oh, that's just the experience meter. You get a level up and that fills. Okay.
If the arrow on it was pointing straight up, I probably would have guessed that. But since it's up at an angle, I was really confused by it.
Maybe I'll fix that up when I'm redoing the art.
Yeah, I did want to talk about that a little bit. Now, this is what you do with these guys. You take them out before they explode, and you actually get experience out of it. They don't give a ton of experience, but, you need all that experience you can get. But, yeah, you were, train of thought. Trying to survive here. What was my train of thought here? My train of thought was, the complaints about the art style on Greenlight, and you've decided you're going to redo the art style. If I remember correctly, right? Okay.
That's correct.
I do say it's visually simple, but I find it kind of charming. But where are you going to be going with the new art style?
I've actually got some samples of directions I'm thinking about going on my Twitter, but I guess I'm going with a stronger like pixel art kind of aesthetic. I'm learning more about that. I'm learning more about shading and all that. So I'm thinking of going with that. I haven't decided exactly where I'm going yet though, because I'm still learning about art. I'm a programmer by trade, so not really my strong suit.
Yeah, this game, I would say is visually simple, but there's a loving term for this, and that's programmer art.
Yeah, it's definitely programmer art, yep.
Yeah, but I don't think it takes away from the game whatsoever. I enjoy the game a great deal right now. Also, Steve, we should go ahead and say something in chat so I can mod you.
Oh, okay, yeah. There we are.
Wait, Steve, Half-Life 3 confirmed? What's going on?
That couldn't have happened.
I'm just wondering why the joke appeared. And let me mod you here. Yeah, click once. No, not ban. Let's not do that. Okay, and now wait like 20 seconds and drop a link as to where people can get this game.
Okay.
And say it out loud so people watching the VOD can hear it if they don't want to pay attention to the chat on the VOD.
Yeah, it's just in Desera. You can just search for AE Heart, and you'll find it there.
Just drop a link to your or just drop a link to your webpage as well. You can find the link there to where to buy it and more information on the game itself. Let's see. I should go and build something now. I have enough clubs to buy some buildings. I can do these ones. Oh god, these ones are really weird and crisscross, so I don't like their layout whatsoever, but...
it gets weirder as you go to some of the other modes, too. Like, there's one called Precipitation, where the buildings can only draw from things above them, except for one called Evaporation that can draw from things at the very bottom of the map. So it gets pretty tricky.
See, yeah, like these are so useless here in this mode. Like the 75 ones, seriously, the map is too damn small for these to be effectively used.
Mm-hmm.
So I think last time I beat this, I just actually saved up for the more expensive things, and didn't level them up whatsoever before then, because I can just do the cheap ones, and those I can more effectively place. I think like right here, this works a little better. And now my red dungeon, the heart dungeon, has leveled up, which then on the Destiny map has progressed to this path here, and it makes the dungeon harder, which also increases the rewards from the dungeon. I've always wondered on blueprints, are there tiers of that, like dungeon levels dropping better blueprints, or is it just completely random what your blueprint was going to give you?
The farther along you are in the game, the higher cost blueprints that will drop.
Okay.
And it's not totally random. It's weighted towards your class. So if you're a ranger, you're going to get more bows and things like that, but you can still get any item.
What class has the best chance of getting a mithril spear? Because that's just win button right there. I love the mithril spear.
Either like a warrior or a ranger class, like anything that has a strong affinity for earth or air.
All right, so the Empyrean assassin, he would probably have a good chance of getting the mithril spear, then, won't he?
He actually would, yeah.
He also gets swords pretty well, I believe.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and spend... I have quite a bit of ore right now, and no items that I really want to make. Well, I could use the wispy cloak or the boots. Let's get the jump boots, since I do have... The blue always seems to be the rarest ore. Like, the hardest to get.
Well, it's also... it's mostly for the strange classes, too. Like, those are the ones that have high affinity for that. So like one of the classes, it's based around like trapping your enemy, like using webs and like damage tiles to hold them in place. It's those kind of classes that have a strong affinity for the blue stuff.
So, and also there's, I guess it might seem like I always need it because there's a lot of items that are like defensive type items that are just blue ore to make, and a large chunk of them, like the veils and stuff like that. So, and the jump boots and all those things are blue ore, you know, no mixing. It's always just a lot of blue ore needed for those blueprints.
Yeah, pretty much all the passives use a lot of blue ore.
So sometimes I end up having to prioritize going to dungeons that have a blue ore reward because of that. Now, right now, I only have ore rewards, which they give you 2 of the ore, by the way. I'm going to go do an ocean one, and let's place a bet, I guess. Let's bet on... I'm going to ocean, so I guess let's bet on yellow. But I don't really need more yellow, but compared to blue. But okay, we'll do ocean. I like oceans. I die a lot less on them, so I do tend to focus on them. I need to remember. How do you unlock Classic Dungeon? I love Classic Dungeon.
Oh, you just have to get a building in each of the 4 corners.
Right. I need to do that. But sometimes where the buildings end up in the game are randomized, so sometimes you end up having to destroy buildings, which is kind of expensive. You can actually destroy the pre-placed buildings, and you can actually spawn more pre-placed buildings as well, which is most of the time required to actually get enough of things to beat the game, in my experience. But those spawn in random places when you use that ability. I'm getting my ass kicked by this slime. Go away, slime.
Well, I also added in the ability to add a new building on there as kind of an in-game thing to do, because it also increases the dungeon levels past where they can normally go.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Many times I have encountered where it seems it's required to actually get enough to progress the pass enough to add buildings. Adding buildings seems required in my experience in many cases.
Well, especially if you remove a building, then you have to add one because you only have enough suits to get the number you need at the start.
Oh, so it does guarantee the generation of enough suits, but whether those buildings end up in places that are convenient to get to so depending, especially on Crisscross, I found it almost required to buy more buildings to end up getting enough, but it does guarantee a generation of enough suits to finish the game, then, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Where if they're located in places is another question.
So yeah, you might be able to finish it with the buildings you start with, but yeah, on those harder modes, it definitely gets a lot harder too, and most of the time you'll need to start buying new buildings and deleting old ones.
Yep, and you can also delete your own buildings you've placed with the delete one, but we find it down here at the bottom. There is a new house, which will randomly spawn a new house, and then remove building, and both of them cost 100 of each suit to do that. But like right here, there's one in this corner, so I'd have to delete it to unlock Classic Dungeon, won't I?
Yeah. Unless you can move all that stuff out of the way.
Oh yeah, buildings do vanish if you remove all the suits off them, clearing up some space on your board, which is really useful. I want to show people a Classic Dungeon, but I'm going to work on that before the end of this here. I'm just putting that there just to get something on the corner. Let's put a blue here. No, that doesn't work. See, now I'm gonna have to put a building here just to get something on. I can't. Bloody hell. I want to show the Classic Dungeon, so I'm actually going to exit this game and go to a basic where it might be easier. Unless you know some cheat codes that you can give me to open that.
Yeah, I actually do. I'm trying to remember what they were. I can look them up real quick.
Yes.
So I've got cheat codes to give you like whatever you'd want. Let's see. Press enter, and a little text entry thing should come up at the bottom.
Okay.
And all the cheat codes begin with an exclamation point, and then I think Lord and Master, with spaces in between. That should give you some items.
Cheat codes exclusively right here, guys. Lord and Master. And is there any confirmation of what? Okay, yes, I have all the suits in the world. Now I can do anything I want on this map. So let's get something that will let me put here. Okay, we'll put that there. I'm not trying to optimize right now. I'm just trying to unlock Classic Dungeon. Because the music in Classic Dungeon, I freaking love the music in Classic Dungeon.
That's actually the one song for this game that I didn't write. A friend of mine wrote that one, who's actually a composer.
So that's why it's so much better than the rest of it. I'm joking. I'm joking. It is really good, though. It is really good.
I love that song. Which is funny because of all the songs he's written for games, that's one of the ones he likes least. But he usually doesn't write very exciting songs. They're more like orchestral, like calm kind of pieces.
I don't know. It's really good, though. And we're going to show it to you guys here in a minute. I already placed a blue temple, so let's place a red temple. That's not going to gain me much. But again, I'm not optimizing this at all. I'm just quickly trying to unlock something here.
You guys still hear me? Where's my mic?
Oh, now I can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Did your mic shit the bed for a minute? Okay, now we have.
Yeah, I think so. For the last 15 minutes, yeah, I've been talking to you, and you guys have not been hearing me.
But now we unlocked.
no.
We should have unlocked Classic Dungeon now, right? Where's that unlock for this? I don't remember where it is on the map.
Yeah, go over to Destiny. Oh, there's a couple other nodes you have to unlock before that. But if you just start getting a bunch of other suits, like it's that little icon with the crystal there. So
Icon.
if you just get to either of the nodes on the side of it, you'll be able to unlock it.
So I need some more blue. So let's grab a blue temple.
I think either diamonds or hearts you need.
Wasn't it blue? It's for ocean. It was touching it, right? Yeah.
Diamonds are for ocean.
Diamonds are ocean? Oh god, I could have swore it was blue. Meh. Okay, let's yellow temple then. We'll place a yellow temple here, and that should select secret dungeon, suits on owned buildings on corners. 9 of 4 have buildings on these spaces. No. What are you talking about? No. Oh wait, how did I not end up one in that corner? Let's
you go back over to the map. Did you clear off one of your own buildings that were there?
I did 2 of them actually.
Oh, okay, all right. So you just I need to put something back there that'll do.
Yeah,
that.
I'll just put the cheap ones here. Let's do a shop, blop, because you can absorb suits from your own place buildings, so you can shift them around and clear out your own buildings to make room for more buildings. It's actually a good thing. You need to. Now I need something that can grab something from down here. This crisscross it's horrible. it's really hard actually to get enough stuff without cheating like I did. It took me a lot of tries. Okay, now I have Classic Dungeon. Let's go ahead and go to Classic Dungeon, which is generally harder than other ones and generally has really good suit rewards here, which don't matter to me at all at this point, so I'm not even going to bother betting because of that awesome cheat. I'm going to turn the music up a little bit right now because I love this song. I don't know why, it just gets stuck in my head. Oh, muted it. There we go.
I'll have to tell the guy who wrote it that you like it.
Oh, I do. I play this dungeon more than any other dungeons, mainly because of that song. You know, I should have checked if that cheat code gave me blueprints, because I'm still have the little pig sticker dagger on a much harder dungeon now.
There actually is one that'll give you all the blueprints.
Now you've given me these cheats, it's gonna take a lot of willpower for me to actually keep playing this game without using the cheats.
Yeah, you're never gonna be able to play this game regularly again.
I've beat it 3 times regularly. That's good enough, right?
That's true.
Well, you deserve cheat codes. I mean,
some of the modes are terrible. Like great but terrible. Like crisscross mixed with some other things can be really, really hard. Oh god, I'm dead. That exploding thing exploded all over my face. Really hard. Too bad Jade's not here. She would have loved that joke. But she went to bed. Let's see what did I get more blueprints? No, I didn't. So I didn't get. Oh, I did get tons of ore, so I can just like unlock everything here now.
You want the cheat for the blueprints?
No, actually, with this, I will try to get my own blueprints. Just unlock the entire level grid here, for the most part. Actually, I'm running out, so I'm not going to unlock everything. It gives you tons of ore, but not an endless amount here. And let's prioritize some things like yellows. Yellows are usually good for survivability here. And damage output, which I sorely lack right now. Okay, I'm out of yellow. Let's get some more greens.
So there you go, kids. If you ever have trouble with playing a game, just get in contact with the developer. Let's get him to give you some cheat codes.
They always have cheat codes. Developers always have cheat codes. They have them in there for testing purposes. It's why cheat codes generally exist, but they always have them. Sometimes
that's why I added these ones.
Yeah, sometimes a lot of times you won't actually. They have cheat codes in the game, but only in the console, which isn't available. You can't actually access in the public builds. So a lot of times you can't actually use their cheat codes. But devs always have cheat codes. Always. Okay, give me the one for all blueprints. I'm gonna cheat. I might as well just keep it up.
Told you.
All right. It starts with an exclamation point again, and it's "Don't stop me now." No apostrophe.
Okay.
I have to say, I love how creative you're being with the cheat codes.
Thank you.
It's like Blizzard levels of creativeness. Like original StarCraft, some of those cheat codes were pretty funny. Like there is no cow level.
Yeah,
exactly.
I always love those.
Okay, let's go get the best weapon in the game here. And that is... Rune Sword's pretty good, too. It's interesting and gives you more range. I don't like 7 Sword. It's just... Like, if the animation played out faster, I might like it more, but I end up getting hit a lot while it's playing.
It definitely leaves you vulnerable, yeah.
Yes. We are going to make the spear here. The Mithril Spear.
I'm actually considering in an update adding in like a tiered loot system where there's like 3 levels of each item that progress as you go through the game, just to even out the weapon, like, just there's more of a feeling of progress as you go through the game.
That
would be interesting, yes.
Do you also plan to, because I see a lot of weapons you can craft, but do you also plan to implement some type of armor?
Yes, there's armors down here. I'm looking for armors right now, actually. Did I get
armors?
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. I actually want to add more of those, though, because there's only a few pieces of armor right now, and I'd like to have a lot more like accessory kind of things, like maybe a necklace that makes it so hearts heal you when you pick them up or something like that.
That would be interesting. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things I can still do with this game, and honestly, I'm going to keep developing on it just for a while, just because I know that there are fun things I'd like to put in here.
Now I'm going to use my normal setup here. Strong armor, which gives you 50 points of defense, and then there is also a magic armor, which are called veils. There's also shields, which are an on-use item that you can block damage with, which I can never use effectively, so I don't even bother with them. Let's see what I need. I probably need more blue ore for the veils here. So let's turn off one of these here to get more blue ore, and I'll put on I think it's rainbow veil is probably the best one.
I believe so, yeah.
Let's see what rainbow veil actually takes, because I still don't have enough to make that. Oh, that one actually does mix. That one takes some red too. So let's go back to the level grid, turn that off, and now I can make a rainbow veil. I have ether veil. Why don't I have rainbow veil?
Does it still cost more?
Does it really take more blue than that?
It might. It gives you a lot of magic defense.
Yes, it takes 1 more blue. So let's turn off another blue thing here. Okay, then equipment slots. We will turn on a rainbow veil, which is 100 points of magic defense. And then I do like to always have at least one jump item on here. I have jump boots on right now, but I have a few other jump modifier items from that cheat code. There is spring boots, which are better than jump boots. They increase your jump, or you can also get wings, which lets you fly, but it drains stamina while you do it. So you fly as long as your stamina lasts. I don't want to bother. I'll just put spring boots on right now. And then I also tend to like the healing item here. The potions. Now, which one's better? Potions or energy HP up?
I prefer the energy one just because you can use it as long as you have time left, but it does consume your time, so it's a risky thing.
It consumes time? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. I'll put that on. Okay, now I am completely overpowered, and this is the general build I like to go for. Some kind of range thing like fire arrows. I could turn on magic arrows, which have infinite shots, but they're a lot weaker.
Yeah,
they are. I could put on bomb arrows, which I will blow myself up with, or there's a arrow with 150 shots instead of 50. But damage-wise, like, what's the damage difference between, say, fire, ice, and normal shots?
The fire ones do more damage than the ice, and all the other bows do the same damage, except for the bomb ones.
Okay. Except for magic arrows do considerably less than the rest of them, don't they? Each shot.
Yeah, because you can use them infinitely.
Yeah. So you could go a very spam route with those. You can make them your primary weapon, actually, but they just do so little damage. I don't really like them. I'll stick with fire arrows. I never generally need more than 50 shots. So especially now that I have the god weapon. Let's do a forest. I'm doing one that rewards a blueprint for no apparent reason. But this is the spear. It's like rapid shot. Three strikes. It just destroys everything. Plus, it also hits behind you, like the backswing of them, which saves me a lot. Actually, it does have a much narrower. Like the swords have a large arc in front of you. This one has just in front of you and just behind you, but that doesn't even matter. It's just godly. It is the OP weapon of the game.
I probably need to make it cost more.
No, do not do that. I love this weapon. It's also amazing for just blocking projectiles. So you can hit projectiles out of the air like a total badass in this game with any weapon, but just because it's persistent in the air longer than most weapons, it works really well for blocking projectiles.
Yeah, it definitely does. Actually, there's a nice trick with the poison cloud weapon because it makes like a poison aura around you. It'll also block projectiles while it's active.
Nice, that would be useful.
That is a very good addition. Yeah. I have to say, I do like the spear thing, and it kind of has a Sparta thing going.
Yeah, it's extremely badass. It has, good range compared to swords or daggers. Not like bow-like range, but its range is, good. And it destroys everything.
Yeah. All you need now is to be... You're not nearly naked enough to be a Spartan.
Right. Okay. This is so easy now. I should really just go intentionally beef up the dungeons and stuff. Maybe I will do that so I can show the guys the boss before. Jesus, it's already supposed to be end of the podcast.
2 hours and 5 minutes in.
Yeah, I don't know why I bothered even going for the blueprint.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything. Actually, it's supposed to stop spawning those once you have all the blueprints, so that may be another minor bug.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and intentionally get to a boss fight here. Where am I on the grid here? Which is closest? It looks like green is closest for the most part. So we'll try intentionally getting to a green boss here. Which
you
I
can
do
also,
like.
Place a bunch of new houses and just soak the suits off those too.
Yep. And this grabs green and yellow. I definitely need to place more houses. Boop, I'm just going to fill the grid up here. There we go. And then destroy one to place something.
Yeah.
It still doesn't end up being that good for green, actually. Well, I'll grab some. Okay, I'll just do green here. Let's do a green temple. Wham! And that did not get me to the boss. Oh, right, because these are combining right here. Now it's ocean. Both of these? Yeah, I need to get ocean. I guess. Yeah, exactly. Because these paths combine, so you kind of have to do both. Ocean. What did you say? Ocean's diamonds, right?
Ocean's diamonds. Yeah.
I have no good place to put diamond. Well, maybe let's remove this thing and wham. That should do it. Yes, now I can do a diamond boss, which I forget which boss that is, but rough diamond here. We'll do the boss level.
This is the survival one.
Ah, yeah. Which is stupid easy right now. Bam.
Yeah, usually this is the toughest boss.
Oh, I found it to be the easiest. I think the toughest one for me is the city boss. Because of pits.
Yeah, that's true.
Those pits get me all the damn time. I don't even bother gathering all the suits on that level because I just avoid the entire half of the map that has pits. I go around the long way to get to the boss. That's the only way I beat that thing. Otherwise, I always end up going down a pit somehow. I guess if I had wings, then I could, probably reliably beat it. This one, you just have to wait long enough for the boss area to open, and then you just go spam on his face. He doesn't actually attack himself. He just keeps spawning all these guys, which I just keep destroying.
Yeah, every time you kill one of them, one of those purple squares disappears.
Ah, so it is about killing the enemies. And this is where...
if you just rod, you won't win.
This is where I realized...
That was a very good mechanic, I have to say.
This is where I found out how good this spear is at blocking projectiles. If you just run around spamming this thing, you pretty much don't get touched. Eat my spear. Take my spear to your face.
Don't ever say that again.
Marvel at my spear. It's my spear of penetration. God, the terrible jokes. Let's not go back down this road. That was the last podcast.
I'll fire up the 30 Shades of Grey website again.
I guess, yeah, we already went down that road. You know, that website is a lot worse than the actual books,
Really?
Yes, the actual books are pretty bad, but not like that.
They were actually like that. I might have read one of them.
No, they're absolute smut, and they are so horribly written. I do not understand why women read that garbage.
I'm actually looking forward to a movie coming out so the Mystery Science Theater guys can make fun of it.
Oh, God. Those would be worse than Twilight.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great when they did Twilight. That was fantastic.
Oh, I did unlock the boss, so let's go ahead and just spear him in the face here. And that's how you beat that boss. It's not normally this easy unless you have this mithril spear. But I also unlocked most of the level grid, which you generally only get about half of that thing unlocked by the end of the game.
Somebody, just as an aside, because Zippy Dragon in the chat just made a quote of Fedora Gamer saying all that spear-related things. Just
Tweet
put that
that
on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do me a
Tweet that.
favor and put that on Twitter.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on so we can end this eventually. It's just been too fun. I've wanted Suddenly Ninja on this podcast for such a long time, so it's the first time I've had a chance to talk to the guy besides Twitter.
We've actually been trying to get together on the podcast for how long? About 3 months now? 2 months?
Since the podcast started, which was more like 6 months.
Yeah, basically. And there's just work getting in the way, and then I was moving, and then, I didn't have internet access. And
yeah, that's why he disappeared for a while.
Yeah, exactly. But it's, thanks for having me, man. It's a huge honor. I really enjoyed this.
It's definitely a pleasure, and we will definitely pimp your channel a little bit more right at the end here. Let's go ahead and move to the Kickstarter spotlight, which is Zenzik, which I hope I say that right, assumably that's right. It's one that's got emailed to me, and I do need to cover it. It's got 11 days left. It's at 1,600 of foreign money, of 2,000 foreign money goal, whichever kind of monopoly money that is. I'm not sure. It's pounds or euros or something. I don't know. I don't know the symbols very well. It's all monopoly money to me. So let's go ahead.
Euros.
It's euros. Okay, we'll go ahead and watch the trailer here.
I love how chaotic this is.
And that is the very short to the point Zinzek trailer. It's a very geometric art styled bullet hell shoot 'em up that looks really good for just being shapes.
Yeah, it looks really awesome.
Yeah, it does. I'm
I think
terrible
that is
at.
the only word. That is awesome is the only word to describe this. It is.
It is. When I do play, I'll probably be terrible at because I suck at bullet hell games. I suck at most games actually, but still.
Oh yeah. Oh, that is not even a point I wanted to touch upon. But I was actually thinking of covering this, and seeing it now is kind of disheartening because of the amount of bullet hellishness.
Yes. Assumably the early levels in the demo won't be as hard as some of these look like they probably are. But my god, you like have such badass looking weapons, like just lines across the screen of death.
Yeah.
It's great, and it's a pretty modest goal. Admittedly, I'm not sure how much 2,000 pounds or euros is in American money. It's probably like 3,000 or 4,000 in American money. I don't know, but still, it's a very modest goal compared to a lot of Kickstarters. It's this goal, it matches its scope. It's a very focused not extremely ambitious game that just looks really badass and fun. Let's check out these rewards, though. I always like looking at the top tier rewards because they're always so cool, and I wish I was rich and could throw money at them. Let's see. For 150 foreign money, is design the graphics of an enemy in Zinzek. God, it's an awkward name. Or macro. Needs to fit the theme. Yeah, so you get to make a shape enemy, which is actually something almost anyone could do. Just get the shape assets and flop them on top of each other till it looks cool, you know. and all previous rewards. Let's see, the 125 forward money reward is get mentioned in a separate opening splash screen and credits as exclusive executive producer. So yeah, it has some pretty cool ones. They're not like ridiculous ones you see on some Kickstarters. They're like $1,000 and you get a statue of you in the game, which is kind of wonderful. If I had $1,000, I would so do that.
Definitely. There's also the one thing crazier than that is that there's always people who just lay down the money and just buy those pledges.
If I were rich, I would do it. I would just like throw tons of money at all the cool Kickstarters. I cover a lot of Kickstarters because I have a video series called Kicking It, based about Kickstarter games, and I do back every game that I cover, but only a small amount because I cover quite a few of them, or I used to at least. It's kind of calmed down a little bit lately, but I just can't afford to back them all at the levels I would like to. So somebody just needs to like throw me $5,000 so I can get a bunch of cool Kickstarter rewards. I just need to win the damn lottery is what I need. As a 4-inch hexagon as a 5K. Okay. So just like a plastic hexagon?
That seems like a weird, kind of strange like reward thing.
Yeah, I mean like just 3D printed plastic hexagon thing? Is that what it is?
Yeah. I can buy those at my local design shop.
Oh, you have a 3D printer shop nearby?
There's not really. There's the hexagon shop is closed most of the time.
Interesting. I mean, if it's what's in the game, I understand that the merit for it, but still.
Yeah. Could be the actual protagonist. I didn't get a real good look at him, but.
No, I'm talking about in chat. Zippy Dragon's talking about Indiegogo for Solar Roadways Indiegogo campaign. It's $5,000 reward.
Yeah,
it's a hexagon. So I haven't seen that campaign. I should look at it sometime. All right, well, let's go ahead and get this wrapped up since we're going to be about a half an hour over, which I'm fine with. We've done that several times in the past, but you know, it is like late at night for Ninja over here.
No, it's okay actually. I'm usually up at this hour anyway, just working away and editing or something. So this is a lot more fun.
Why previously were you like the podcast is too late at night? If you're actually up at this time of night most of the time.
Well, because it's because I don't have to work tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So days you have off, you're usually up this time of night when you have the next day off. Okay.
Exactly.
I did make the podcast used to be an hour later than it is now, though. It used to be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and when we moved over to when I switched jobs, we switched the day of it, which it used to be on Sundays previously, and then I also switched the time to an hour earlier, so it would be a little bit better for some of the foreign guests I want to get on here, because it's a common problem where it's like a.m. and like midnight and whatnot over in UK and stuff, so I made an hour earlier to make it a little bit easier on some of my foreign guests, which made it worse on Australian guests, because for Lady Jade, it's 6 a.m. on Sunday.
No, yeah, I can see how that's
because they're in the future. They're in the Australia's the land of the future. So right now it is Sunday in Australia. We make jokes about it on the internet all the time, and it seems so strange to us. But I was thinking about this the other day. I think it's probably because it's the only English-speaking country on the other side of the date line. I can't think of any other English-speaking countries on the other side of the date line, which is why there's always a lot of jokes about them being from the future and stuff, because there's plenty of other people on the other side of the date line. They just are in our communities and stuff because they don't speak English.
God, no, I'm trying to think of English-speaking countries on that side of the world now, but there's just nothing that comes up.
I think it's just Australia. Mm-hmm. So that's why it seems so foreign to us, is because it...
No, what about New Zealand?
Is New Zealand on the other side of the date line?
I think so.
It's right next to Australia, isn't it?
Yeah. They speak English as their primary language? I
Well,
know that,
Australians don't speak English as English is, but
yeah, they do. English is the language of Australia. It's the accented English, but that is their primary language.
oh, okay,
Because
I wasn't actually aware of that.
Australia started as a British prison colony. That's how Australia started being populated.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
yes, they said there was a
Yeah.
British prison colony. So that's why Australian accents are actually a lot like British accents with more slang. Is pretty much what an Australian accent is. They
We
use a
just
lot
maybe
more
we could
slang.
just if we work on the government a little bit, we might just revert Australia to that. I think I know a few people who can who we can put in Australia.
So all Australian people are actually descendants of terrible people,
Ha!
for the most part. They just
He's
got
not
sent over
here,
there to
right?
die, and then somehow they became a country and culture of their own. So, well done. Well done, Britain. Yeah, I don't know. A funny fact, isn't it? I mean, there's Aborigine, like some kind of. Was there a culture or any people there previously? I don't actually know. I guess there's probably in Aborigine or Indie type tribesmen there, but it was very sparsely populated even by them. So
That would have been very awkward if you were just an Aboriginal, an original descendant of the people living in the original Australia.
yeah,
And there's just this boat this wooden structure you've never even seen before come up on the horizon. You call out to the village saying, "Oh, look, there's something over the horizon. What's that? There's people on there. What? Oh man, we're about to be discovered." And all the boat does is just shove a group of 15 horrible-looking men on the shore and then just leaves.
yes, just a bunch of murderous bastards.
Yes. Here, take care of these people. Bye.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how I imagine it, at least. All right. Anyway, let's do the wrap up. This is the part of the podcast where I should probably turn back on the splash screen. I still have game capture turned on. Why do I still have game capture turned on? It's not capturing anything, but there we go. Anyway, this is the part of the stream where we show like shameless whores, pretty much. Let's start with Suddenly Ninja, which I will drop your link for you because your chat's broken. But tell people where they can find you, what you do, why they should care.
SuddenlyNinja started the channel 2 years ago, kind of decided to do some gaming related stuff, realized that everyone and their mother and daughter and dog is doing gaming related stuff, so I decided to go a little bit indie. And basically my channel is all about getting the lesser known indie games known to the audience and trying to get people to click on Kickstarters and green lights and whatnot. And I try to do a video every week, but like I said, I am full-time employed at the moment with a I'm taking courses on the side, so I might not have time every week, but it is a big hobby and passion of mine, so I try to do at least one video every week, and I might do even more in the future.
Which seems really low to like me when I used to try to do one video a day, but even when my new job I'm trying for 3 a week. But my videos are one take, a few fades, intro, outro. His are scripted and heavily edited and very well done, and it is hours and hours of editing in his videos. So I have a lot of respect.
Let's have people think that they're hours and hours of editing. Yeah, that's I'm happy with that.
At least an hour. It's an hour. I can't do scripted content though at all. I am an extremely monotone reader, so if I'm trying, I can't do scripted content whatsoever. So you have a different skill set than mine, that's for sure.
In the contrast to that, I've always been jealous of people who can just go and play a game and be interesting from the top of their heads, and that is a skill that I'm trying to work on right now. But I see that at the moment I'm happiest when doing scripted content. So I write a review beforehand, then I record my voice doing the review, and then I edit the video onto that later. But I'd like to be a YouTuber that can just hit up a game and just go, right guys, here's a game, let's go and play a little bit of this and just do things at a time. But that's
live commentary. Yeah, live commentary. It's definitely a different skill. Like, and I'm not good at it. I will say some people seem to think I am when they subscribe to me. Strangely enough, but I
definitely. I enjoy watching the kicking it videos. So make more of those. Those are great.
I do need to. I have several sent in my email box that were emailed to me, and I'm just having issues with my new job and the new shift I work, learning how to manage my time and do this stuff around job and family. was actually easier with this shift I had at my previous job, but I also hated my previous job and rather masturbate with sandpaper than spend another day in that place. So,
Ow.
yeah. So it's worth it, but I just need to learn to manage my time better and get back up to the video volume I used to have. But it's an interesting thing because there's several people I was having this conversation with where they just can't stay interesting doing live commentary, but they are great at scripted. And again, I can't read. I'm a monotone reader. I'm terrible at that, reading out loud. It's just something I've never had to do very extensively in my life. So. And I have a lot of respect for that skill set, but it's just, different people are better at different things kind of thing. And I really enjoy Suddenly Ninja's content. Seriously, go subscribe to it now. This podcast won't end until you all do that. No. I'll assume they've gone and done that, but
yes.
You also find him on Twitter.
The money is rolling in right now, so.
You also find him on Twitter at SuddenlyNinja. So you can find
Definitely.
him there.
I most of the of course I post new videos, but most of the behind the scenes stuff goes on the Twitter. So hit me up on there.
My advice for getting into live commentary stuff is do some collabs. It's a lot easier when you have someone to work off of. Like
I know, but then again, I've tried doing that in the past, but it's basically the time scale or the difference in time scale that is mucking that up.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. I have a lot of collabs on the burner that I'm supposed to have done, and we just haven't been able to match up times to do it yet.
Yeah. Well, if we ever get this opportunity again to do things like this, I would definitely like to do a collab with you.
There's plenty of multiplayer games I'd love to do a video of. So,
great.
Yeah, and then there's me. There's also a different subset of people that are good at Let's Playing. Because I do a Let's Play now and then when it's just an excuse to play a game I like more, and they really don't get many views on my channel because that's what my channel's built on. But I do one-off videos most of the time. But Let's Plays, I have trouble staying interesting past having game mechanics to talk about. When I have the game mechanics to talk about in my 15-20 minute video of a game, and give my thoughts on that stuff, I can stay fairly interesting. But once I run out of that to talk about, it's just like, what the fuck do I say now?
Yeah, I totally get that. I was actually planning on making a video this weekend about, there's a discussion going on, I don't know if you know this, but the YT Talk forums, which if you don't know is basically a huge forum full of YouTubers and people who make content for YouTube.
I've been there once or twice.
Yeah, I'm a pretty active user on there, and there's basically a discussion going on there about gaming channels, and that the number one question asked by people who start a gaming channel is, how do I start a successful gaming channel? How do I run a successful gaming channel? And the problem seems to be that the only thing that people can think of when they hear the term gaming channel is someone playing a game consistently, like a Let's Play, on YouTube. And I'm just like, there's so much more to gaming than that. Look at Dan Bull. He makes great rap music using video games.
Yeah.
Look at all the review channels, Total Biscuit, Northern Lion. They make reviews of games, and there's so much more creativity to that.
See, I see it as there's like three main skill sets of YouTubing. There's scripted content, which general reviews or even just general first impressions that are scripted, like yours. Then there's the one-off live commentary, which is kind of like what I do, what Total Biscuit does, what Northern Lion does. Northern Lion does do Let's Plays as well, though it's Binding Isaac series, of course, but it's like when you're talking about the game and its mechanics and your opinion of it while you're playing it, but you don't keep it going so long that you run out of stuff to talk about when it comes to mechanics and such like that. And then there's Let's Plays where it's not so much about the game, but whatever random shit you can come up with to talk about that's entertaining in some way. And those are like the three different sets of skills when it comes to YouTube videos, from my perspective at least.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
It's a lot more to it than people seem to think. It's a lot harder to talk to your monitor than you think it is. Like the first videos I made, it was freaking tough. I did a lot of ums, and my first video I remade that video, restarted recording at least 50 times because it was just fucking terrible.
I used to get angry at myself if I was like recording certain parts 30 times, up to 30 times, and I'm an OCD perfectionist. If something doesn't sound completely right to me, and I'm my own biggest critic, then I just do it again. And that it's the reason that I sometimes, for most reviews, I just write one paper of one sheet of text, and I can do recording that one sheet of text. I can take about 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Just because I'm re-recording and just editing parts and throwing parts out that I'm not happy with. And
it does have the advantage when you do scripted where you can just like do line by line, and if you screw up one line, you don't have to start over. Yeah. When I do my videos, if I screwed up to a point where I don't think it's worth putting up, I have to start over, kind of thing.
You have to start all over again, yeah. So yeah.
It definitely gets easier as you do it, though. The first few videos were really hard. Like, you don't think about how difficult it is to talk to your bloody monitor, but it is.
God, yes.
But then after like 5 videos, it actually starts feeling more natural.
The first couple of videos I did, I was actually not sure yet if I wanted to do the UK accent or the American accent. So there's a couple of videos of me shamefully trying to imitate someone from the UK. And I've contemplated removing those, but I think I'm just going to keep them up just for nostalgia's sake.
The fact that you can do that, it sounds natural, and it's 3 languages. I now know you speak 3 languages, and that you cannot tell at all that English isn't your first language, and you have no American accent, which generally means to us no accent at all in your speech. It's mind blowing. You should be a linguist.
But thank you. I don't really know what to say.
Yeah, that's you're very talented in that regard.
It's kind of came naturally to me.
All right. Well, again, we've gotten way off topic. Steve, throw out your links. Tell people where to find your game, where to throw money at you, and all that.
Well, and right now, like I said before, my biggest task is redoing the art. And honestly, what I want most is feedback. So if anyone stops by my Twitter and sees any of the new stuff, I would love to hear what they like, what they don't like, what they think could be better. Any feedback, because sometimes I feel like blind with the art stuff since I'm a programmer. So mostly that. And besides that, they can get the game on Desera.
Go throw money at him. It's only like $5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cheap game. It's fun. Visually simplistic at this point, but the gameplay is fun, and the replayability is like unmatched in most games. The amount of replayability in that game is kind of crazy.
And that's what I was going for, so I'm glad it came through.
So go buy his game. And I am, of course, your host, Fedora Gamer. You can find me here on my Hitbox channel, but I generally only use it for the weekly podcast. I would like to stream more often, but never really found the time to. Maybe someday I will. I'm primarily a YouTuber. You can find me at youtube.com/Fedora Gamer with a 4 for the A in Gamer. And I cover indie games, exclusively indie games. Lots of indie games, Kickstarter games, and development games, release games, all of that. I do make it a point to find a lot of less known indie games. Like, I will cover the hot new indie game of the minute kind of thing quite often, but most of the time I do try to dig up games that people have not heard of that are interesting and good, you know. And so if you want to find more games, more indie games that are the less known ones that aren't all over everyone's channel already, you should check out my channel. You can also find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Fedora Gamer. And if you're not following this Hitbox channel, you should click that follow button. And next week, it'll be another podcast every week. And hopefully my dragon co-host will be here next week. And that's about it. So let's just say thanks for joining us, everybody. Goodbye. Say bye, guys.
Everyone. See you on the internet. Bye-bye.
And stream's down.